Have you ever wondered what secrets are buried beneath the sands of time? Picture this: ancient Egypt, a civilization that left behind architectural wonders like the Sphinx and the pyramids. But what if everything we've been taught about these iconic structures is just a fraction of their true story? Consider the possibility that the pyramids and the Sphinx could be older than the Egyptians themselves. That the Sphinx might once have been Anubis, the jackal-headed god, and that the pyramids might contain mathematical marvels and alignments with celestial bodies. Intricacies that could suggest a technology or knowledge way beyond the human capability of that era, perhaps pointing towards alien gods. Let's look at the Great Sphinx, a symbol of ancient Egypt that continues to perplex scholars today. The Sphinx is like a silent sentinel, sitting on the Giza plateau, its weathered face gazing eastward towards the rising sun. But if you examine the Sphinx closely, there are clues in its geology that suggest its story may be more complex than we initially thought. One geologist, Dr. Robert Schoch, first brought attention to this in the 90s when he proposed a controversial theory about the Sphinx's age. He noticed that the erosion patterns on the Sphinx appeared to have been caused by water. Not just a bit of rain, but thousands of years of heavy rainfall, the kind that hasn't occurred in the Giza region for about 10,000 years since the end of the last ice age. Now, traditional Egyptology places the construction of the Sphinx in the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, around 2500 BCE, when the area was already an arid desert. So, where did this water come from? Schoch proposed that the Sphinx may be far older than traditionally believed, dating back to a time when Egypt was a lush tropical landscape with heavy monsoons and flash floods. Of course, the implications of this are profound, shaking the bedrock of our historical understanding. If the Sphinx was weathered by water, and this weathering occurred before Egypt became a desert, it would mean that the monument was already ancient by the time the first pharaoh took the throne. It also begs the question, who built it? The civilization capable of such monumental architecture would predate any we know of. Could there be an unknown advanced civilization lost to the sands of time waiting to be discovered? Isn't that what makes history so exciting? The fact that we don't have all the answers yet. Let's now delve into an even more controversial theory surrounding the Sphinx. Now we've all been brought up knowing it as the Sphinx, but what if it wasn't always a lion-bodied, human-headed creature that we see today? What if it was something different? This theory brings us to Robert Temple, a British author and researcher. He proposed a highly debated theory that the Great Sphinx was originally not a sphinx at all, but was instead a massive statue of the jackal god Anubis. Yes, you heard it right. Anubis, the god of embalming and the dead, known for guiding souls in the afterlife. But why Anubis? Temple noted that the current human head of the Sphinx is proportionally much smaller than its body, which could indicate that the head was recarved from a larger original. In this case, a jackal head would fit the larger body better in proportion. Besides, Anubis is typically portrayed as a recumbent canine or a muscular man with a jackal's head, not so far from the Sphinx's current layout. Moreover, there's the location of the Sphinx to consider. It sits in front of the Khafre's pyramid as if it's guarding the entrance to the afterlife, a job usually assigned to Anubis in ancient Egyptian mythology. Could it be that the Sphinx, which literally means living image, was the living image of Anubis instead of the human-headed lion we see today? As you might imagine, this hypothesis has been met with skepticism from mainstream Egyptologists. There are many factors to consider, including the established symbolism of lion-bodied creatures in the ancient world and the absence of any ancient texts referring to the Sphinx as Anubis. Our curiosity's only just getting started. Theories like these challenge the status quo and keep us asking questions. After all, isn't it a bit weird? The awe-inspiring Great Pyramids of Giza are not only remarkable because of their massive scale, but also due to their mathematical precision and alignment. You know, the kind of precision that is surprisingly difficult to achieve even today with all our modern technology and tools. This leads us to ask, how could an ancient civilization accomplish such a feat? Let's start with the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu. It's the largest of the three pyramids, originally standing at an astonishing 481 feet. Not to mention, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years, until the completion of Lincoln Cathedral in England in the 14th century. But it's not just about the size. The base of the Great Pyramid is a near-perfect square, with each side measuring about 756 feet. The level of precision is such that the difference in lengths between the four sides is less than 2 inches. Moreover, each side of the pyramid is carefully aligned to one of the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west, again with an astoundingly minimal error. This already seems remarkable, right? But hold on to your seats, because it's about to get a lot more intriguing. The Pyramid of Khufu, along with the other 2 pyramids of Giza, are positioned in a way that mirrors the alignment of the 3 stars in the belt of the constellation Orion. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with the god Osiris, the god of the afterlife. This cosmic correlation suggests a deep understanding of astronomy that goes beyond mere chance. The mathematical sophistication and astronomical alignment present in these pyramids point to a highly advanced civilization, but again, the question remains: how was this accomplished? Mainstream history tells us that this was all done by sheer human ingenuity and labor, using simple tools and methods. Others, however, speculate about intervention from a higher intelligence, perhaps even extraterrestrial. The theories are as vast and intriguing as the pyramids themselves. Isn't it all just amazing? Or maybe it's just a bit weird. There's a saying that goes, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. If we were to time travel thousands of years back and show a smartphone to the ancient Egyptians, they would likely see it as a divine or magical artifact. With this perspective, some researchers suggest that the pyramids, and indeed much of the awe-inspiring accomplishments of ancient Egypt, may have been influenced or even directly facilitated by extraterrestrial entities, whom the ancients may have perceived as gods. There is a theory known as the ancient astronaut theory that proposes the interaction of extraterrestrial beings with ancient humans. Supporters of this theory suggest that much of the technology, knowledge, and spiritual understanding of our ancient civilizations was handed down from these celestial visitors. The idea has gained popularity due to authors like Erich von Däniken and shows like Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. Let's take a closer look at this theory in the context of ancient Egypt. Proponents point out that the construction of the pyramids, especially given the remarkable mathematical precision and astronomical alignments, could not have been possible with the tools and knowledge known to exist during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. Therefore, they argue, the pyramids might be the result of technology or knowledge provided by an advanced, non-human civilization. Further fueling this theory are the Egyptian texts and artwork that seem to depict what could be interpreted as advanced technology or celestial beings. One example is the hieroglyphs in the Temple of Seti I in Abydos that bear an uncanny resemblance to modern aircrafts. Also, many ancient Egyptian deities were associated with celestial bodies and were believed to possess incredible powers. Could it be that these gods were extraterrestrials, perceived as divine due to their advanced technology and knowledge? Were they the ones who instructed or aided the Egyptians in constructing the pyramids? The Great Pyramid of Giza is not just a testament to the engineering prowess of the ancient Egyptians, it's also an architectural mystery that seems to embed a deep connection to the cosmos. Let's delve into the intriguing details of how the structures on the Giza plateau reflect an intimate understanding of the heavens, an understanding that seems surprisingly advanced for a civilization from more than 4,000 years ago. It's well known that the layout of the 3 primary pyramids mirrors the positioning of the stars in Orion's belt. This correlation was brought to the forefront by Robert Bauval and Adrian Gilbert in their Orion correlation theory. The 3 stars of Orion's belt, Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka, align almost perfectly with the apexes of the 3 pyramids of Giza. Moreover, the orientation of the pyramids to the north is so precise that it deviates from true north by just 3/60th of a degree. Could the builders have had an advanced astronomical knowledge, or perhaps assistance from a more advanced civilization? Going deeper, the Great Pyramid itself has elements of celestial alignment. Its narrow shafts, dubbed air shafts or spirit stones, seem to be aimed at specific stars. The southern shaft of the King's Chamber points to Orion, while the northern shaft points to the circumpolar stars. Similarly, in the Queen's Chamber, one shaft points to Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, and another points to the Ursa Minor constellation. It's fascinating to think that these structures, built thousands of years ago, could act as star pointers, Adding another layer of intrigue, the Sphinx also shows signs of astronomical alignments. The Sphinx faces due east, and some theorists propose that it was designed to observe the equinoxes and solstices. The theory of the Sphinx representing the constellation of Leo during the Age of Leo, approximately 10,500 BCE, as proposed by Robert Bauval and Graham Hancock, challenges mainstream chronology and makes us question our understanding of the Sphinx and its origins. While skeptics argue these alignments could be coincidental, it's hard to dismiss the accuracy and precision involved. Could it be a random occurrence, or is it evidence of an ancient civilization that had deep astronomical knowledge, or perhaps even a sign of extraterrestrial intervention? As we continue to explore and decipher the secrets of ancient Egypt, the questions just keep piling up. And as always, thanks for watching. As we delve into the past, we discover that our history is full of mysteries and questions that even today's technology struggles to answer. From water erosion on the Sphinx to the possibility of Anubis taking its place, from the marvel of mathematical precision in pyramids to the curious celestial alignments, we're left pondering if human hands alone were capable of these feats, or if there were other extraterrestrial forces at play. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, one thing is for sure: the more we explore, the more fascinating our world becomes. What if I told you that beneath the sprawling modern cityscapes and the timeless deserts, there's another world lurking? A world that thrived when mammoths still roamed and the Sahara was lush with vegetation. It's a world where colossal structures and cities, thought to be younger, were in fact the creations of civilizations lost to us in the mists of prehistory. Today, we're diving deep into the world of submerged cities, signs of catastrophic floods, the ancient Egyptian civilization, and their monuments like the Sphinx and the pyramids. So, let's embark on this journey through time, unlocking secrets hidden beneath waves and sand dunes. Let's now journey south, along the lifeline of one of the world's greatest civilizations, the Nile. Egypt, the land of the pharaohs, was home to bustling metropolises, temples, and cities that are now covered by the waters of the Nile and the Mediterranean. Two of these cities, Thonis, Heracleion, and Canopus, were found submerged under Aboukir Bay near Alexandria in the late 20th century. Thonis Heracleion, once a prosperous port city, was lost to the world around 1200 years ago. As to what led to its submergence, it's believed that a combination of rising sea levels, land subsidence, and possibly a catastrophic event like an earthquake led to its sinking. Imagine walking down the streets of this city, once populated by thousands, now silent except for the occasional sound of aquatic life. The city was discovered in 2000 by a team led by French underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudiot. They found the ruins spread over 11 kilometers, including 64 ships, 700 anchors, gold coins, weights from Athens, which have never before been found at an Egyptian site, statues standing 16 feet tall, and most notably the remains of a massive temple to the god Amun-Gereb. In its glory days, Thonis Heracleion was Egypt's main international trading post, receiving goods from Greece, the Middle East, and other parts of Africa. Nearby, the city of Canopus was also rediscovered, a center for the worship of the god Serapis. The city was known for its temples and pilgrimage sites, attracting people from all corners of the ancient world. The treasures recovered from the site include a perfectly preserved bust of a Ptolemaic queen, grand statues of gods and goddesses, and intricate amulets. Now, let's head over to the iconic Giza Plateau, the site of the Great Sphinx and the pyramids. These structures are a testament to the grandeur of ancient Egypt, but could they also bear the signs of a great flood? Some researchers believe so. The Sphinx, carved from the bedrock of the Giza Plateau, exhibits a degree of erosion that some geologists argue is consistent with water damage. This is a particularly curious phenomenon given that the Sphinx is located in one of the driest places on Earth. Where could such extensive water damage have come from? This has led to the controversial Sphinx water erosion hypothesis. According to this theory, proposed by individuals like geologist Robert Schoch and author John Anthony West, the erosion on the Sphinx indicates that it was subjected to a prolonged period of heavy rainfall. But there's a twist. The last time Egypt experienced the level of rainfall capable of causing such erosion was at the end of the last ice age around 10,000 BCE, long before the civilization we know as ancient Egypt even began. This theory suggests that the Sphinx, and possibly even the pyramids, were already standing by the time the first pharaohs took the throne, and the ancient Egyptians merely rediscovered and repurposed these ancient structures. Furthermore, some believe that the pyramids show signs of being submerged underwater at some point, as evident from the presence of fossil shells and petrified wood in and around the pyramids. Again, these are just theories, but they spark a fascinating discussion and provide a fresh perspective on the origins of these mysterious structures. It's a fascinating speculation. Could there be more hidden beneath the vast sands of Egypt, swept under by the relentless waves of a catastrophic flood? Let's explore. Some researchers propose that the uniform layer of silt found across large parts of Egypt could be evidence of a massive flooding event. This layer of silt, often several meters deep, could have resulted from gigantic waves that would have moved vast amounts of sand and silt, potentially burying existing structures. Support for this theory can be found in the studies of sedimentary deposits in the Nile Valley. These deposits indicate instances of rapid, short-term increases in the rate of sedimentation, suggestive of a large-scale flooding event. Such an event would have drastically altered the landscape, burying existing structures under meters of sand and sediment. The evidence of tsunami-like events in the Mediterranean basin in the past adds further weight to this theory. Some of these tsunamis could have inundated large parts of Egypt's coast, carrying with them sand from the seabed and depositing it far inland. The idea that there could be more pyramids and other structures hidden under Egypt's sands is indeed thought-inducing. Several buried structures have already been discovered in recent years using ground-penetrating radar and other technologies. The potential that there are more secrets to unearth deepens the intrigue of this ancient land. The possibility of a massive flood event having contributed to the reshaping of the landscape opens up new avenues of research and exploration. Egypt, a cradle of human civilization, continues to reveal its past, piece by piece, challenging our understanding of history. We've all heard of the biblical story of Noah's Ark, but the flood narrative isn't unique to Judeo-Christian tradition. From ancient Sumerian tales to Greek mythology to Hindu scriptures, stories of great floods wiping out civilizations and being survived by a handful of individuals are almost universal. So let's plunge into these flood myths and look for evidence. The oldest known flood myth is the Epic of Gilgamesh, originating from ancient Sumer, in which the gods send a flood to wipe out humanity. But one man, Utnapishtim, is warned in advance and builds a great boat to survive. Sound familiar? In Greek mythology, we have the story of Deucalion and Pyrrha, who survive a great deluge sent by Zeus by building a chest. After the flood, they repopulate the earth by throwing stones over their shoulders, which transform into people. The Hindu tradition speaks of a great flood in the story of Manu, the progenitor of mankind. Warned of the impending deluge by a fish, an avatar of the god Vishnu, Manu builds a boat and rescues himself along with the seeds of life to start humanity anew after the floodwaters recede. These myths, scattered across different continents and cultures, all bear striking resemblances to each other, despite being thousands of years old. Could they be retelling the same event? Some researchers believe these myths might be distant, cultural memories of real events, perhaps the flooding at the end of the last ice age when sea levels rose dramatically. Several archaeological sites seem to support this theory. The ancient city of Dwarka, described in Hindu scriptures, was discovered underwater off the coast of modern-day India. Some claim that its submersion aligns with the timeline of the flood described in the story of Manu. In the Mediterranean, evidence of prehistoric settlements was found submerged near the coasts of Greece and Turkey. Were these thriving communities that were swallowed by the sea at the end of the Ice Age? While we need more archaeological and geological evidence to validate these theories, the parallels in these flood myths and their potential connections to submerged archaeological sites make us wonder, could these myths be echoes from a time when sea levels rose, engulfing coastal communities and reshaping our world? The very notion is like a riddle waiting to be solved, a story waiting to be told hidden beneath the waves of our ancient past. Contrary to what we've come to accept about the parched Sahara Desert, the time-worn structures of ancient Egypt tell a different story, an earth-shattering tale that speaks of a time when this arid landscape was a verdant paradise. Let's delve into it. Some researchers believe that the visible water erosion on the Sphinx and the pyramids could indicate that these structures were built during or before a wetter period in Egypt's history. The theory hinges on the existence of unmistakable signs of water erosion, particularly on the Great Sphinx. These erosion patterns do not match the patterns seen on structures known to be built in the dry climate of the last few thousand years. Water erosion on the Sphinx and the pyramids is more consistent with the erosion caused by heavy rainfall than by windsand erosion. Rainfall of such a magnitude hasn't been seen in the region for many thousands of years, predating the conventional timeline of the Sphinx and the pyramids. This theory has led some to speculate that the Sphinx and the pyramids were constructed during the last humid period in the Sahara, known as the African Humid Period, which ended around 5000 BC. That's several millennia before the accepted timeline for the construction of these monuments. If the water erosion theory is correct, it could radically change our understanding of Egypt's history. A lush, green Egypt, with rivers and forests where we now find sand, dramatically changes the backdrop against which we picture these ancient civilizations. It also paints a vivid picture of how drastically our planet's climate can change over long periods. Ancient Egypt's pyramids continue to draw us in with their grandeur and their complex symbolism. Yet the pyramids might not be the sole achievement of the ancient Egyptians we know today. In fact, some theories suggest that they were built by an even older, pre-dynastic civilization, and the Egyptians merely moved in after a catastrophic flood. Egyptology traditionally holds that the pyramids were built around 2600 BCE, primarily as tombs for pharaohs. Yet, some theorists argue that there is evidence to suggest that the pyramids, specifically the Great Pyramid of Giza, were built by a technologically advanced civilization that predates the Egyptians. Architectural elements, such as the precise alignment of the pyramids to true north, their sophisticated understanding of mathematics and geometry, and the construction technique used in building these massive structures, all seem to suggest a level of knowledge that was quite advanced for the time. The Sphinx also adds to this theory. Geological studies on the erosion patterns of the Sphinx suggest that it might have been exposed to thousands of years of rainfall, yet Egypt's arid climate hasn't seen such rain for at least 8,000 years. This has led some to propose that the Sphinx was built by an older civilization that existed during a more temperate climate. The theory of a pre-existing civilization becomes even more intriguing when we consider the flood myths that permeate cultures around the world, including that of the ancient Egyptians. Could it be that the pyramids were built by an advanced civilization that was wiped out by a global flood event, only for the structures to be later adopted by the surviving Egyptians? Before we bid adieu, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've explored. If our understanding of history could be so significantly altered by water erosion marks on the Sphinx and the pyramids, or by cities hidden beneath the sea, think of the countless other secrets waiting to be unearthed. What we consider fact today may just be the stepping stone to a more profound truth hidden beneath layers of sand, water, and time. So keep asking, keep exploring, and remember, the past is a puzzle, a grand, sprawling jigsaw that we are only beginning to assemble.
There are huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally. Of course, the most important are the flooded continental shelves. And that's why Santa and I spent 7 years of our lives scuba diving all around the world.
Nestled at the westernmost edge of the Saurashtra Peninsula in what is now the state of Gujarat, India, the ancient city of Dwarka offers a narrative that is as rich in spirituality and mythology as it is in historical urban development.
The calculation is that 27 million square kilometers that was above water during the Ice Age is underwater now.
The city's strategic positioning near the confluence of the Gomati River and the Arabian Sea played a pivotal role not just in safeguarding it from potential invaders, but also in bolstering maritime trade and fostering connections with other parts of the ancient world. This geographical advantage, coupled with the city being enveloped by water on all sides, either as a peninsula or a series of islands, crafted a natural fortress that was a challenge for any adversary to overcome.
Most of human civilization has been organized around water, right? And as the water levels change, some of those ancient cities could be completely covered.
We did a lot of diving in southern India, so it was great for her to be able to talk in their own language to Tamil fishermen and Tamil divers and see if they'd seen any weird stuff underwater, which they certainly had.
Moreover, the Gomati River's proximity not only enhanced the city's scenic beauty, but also served as a crucial lifeline for its residents. Dwarka's urban landscape, as depicted in ancient texts, was nothing short of architectural grandeur. The city boasted of meticulously planned streets, a state-of-the-art drainage system, and formidable fortifications, all of which were divided into well-defined sectors for residential, commercial, and administrative purposes.
We know that it's been underwater for about 6,000 or 7,000 years, but the question is, how long before that was it made? How long did it stand there above water?
This level of urban planning and civil engineering sophistication showcases an advanced understanding of city management and infrastructure development, making Dwarka a marvel in ancient urban planning. The city's defensive structures, including a series of gates and fortifications, underscored the thoughtful defensive strategy employed in its construction. These were not merely architectural feats, but were strategically designed to regulate access and provide unwavering protection against invasions. Such architectural and strategic prowess points to a high degree of sophistication and indicates that Dwarka was a city that blended beauty with brains, making it a formidable entity in the ancient world.
You're coming across statues underwater, you're coming across columns underwater. It's just magical in diving on an underwater city.
Diving into the depths off the coast of modern-day Dwarka in Gujarat, India, archaeologists have embarked on marine explorations that have significantly advanced our understanding of the ancient city's grandeur and the sophisticated civilization that once flourished there. These underwater explorations have brought to light submerged structures, stone foundations, walls, pillars and steps that many believe were part of the legendary Dwarka, a city of immense importance in Hindu scriptures. The discovery of such elaborate underwater architecture points towards the advanced engineering and construction techniques of the time, hinting at a society that was far ahead of its contemporaries in terms of urban planning and infrastructure development. The use of modern technology, including sonar scanning, diving explorations, and underwater photography, has been instrumental in mapping out the submerged city, providing us with a clearer picture of its complexity and the scale at which it operated. But the revelations don't stop at structures. A plethora of artifacts unearthed both from the seabed and land excavations near Dwarka tell tales of a culturally rich and economically prosperous society. The remnants of well-laid streets and an elaborate drainage system underscore a high degree of urban planning, indicative of a society that valued organization, environmental health, and the well-being of its citizens. Moreover, the variety of materials discovered suggests Dwarka was a bustling hub of trade and cultural exchange, maintaining connections with other civilizations of its time. This diversity not only showcases the city's economic vitality, but also its cultural openness and dynamism. But perhaps what's most fascinating is the chronological evidence unearthed through radiocarbon dating.
We have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old. The largely and correctly discredited notion of an Aryan invasion of India needs to be abandoned.
Some artifacts and structural components of the submerged city have been dated back to the 2nd millennium BCE, aligning Dwarka's timeline with that of Lord Krishna, as described in traditional beliefs and ancient texts. This dating not only cements Dwarka's place as a significant cultural, religious, and economic center in the ancient world, but also bridges the gap between mythological narratives and historical reality. These archaeological findings offer a tangible framework to understand the evolution of urban settlements in ancient India, shedding light on societal structures, trade practices, and the cultural dynamics of the time. As we piece together clues from the past, Dwarka holds a special place in the tapestry of Hindu mythology and Indian ancient history, not just for its divine origins, but also for the mystery and majesty that encompass its story. At the heart of Dwarka's legend is its foundation by Lord Krishna, a pivotal figure in Hinduism revered across various traditions. The epic tales from the Mahabharata and the Bhagavata Purana tell us of Krishna's quest to protect his people from persistent threats, leading to the establishment of this city. It wasn't just a random choice. Krishna was strategic, opting for a location that offered natural defenses and prosperous living conditions for his subjects. Positioned on the western coast, Dwarka was a fortress against adversaries, thanks to its geographical advantages and access to vital sea routes that facilitated trade and communication. This city wasn't just a safe haven, it was a symbol of divine protection and ingenuity, blending spiritual significance with architectural splendor. The story of Dwarka, with its grand buildings and eventual mysterious submergence, captures the imagination, making it a subject of fascination and reverence. Dwarka, often hailed as the City of Gold in ancient scriptures, embodies not just the literal application of gold in its architecture, but also represents an era of unparalleled wealth, prosperity, and architectural ingenuity. This legendary city, with its palaces shimmering with gold and precious stones, grand public spaces, and formidable fortifications, stands as a testament to the zenith of ancient urban development and prosperity. The city's opulence wasn't confined to its material wealth. It extended to its sophisticated design and layout, which were attributed to Vishwakarma, the divine architect in Hindu mythology. Commissioned by Lord Krishna, Vishwakarma's vision for Dwarka was nothing short of architectural brilliance. The planning of Dwarka was meticulously executed, with distinct zones for residential quarters, marketplaces, temples, and public buildings. This segregation ensured that the city functioned efficiently, with each area serving its purpose without encroaching on another. The residential quarters, designed for comfort and accessibility, were likely constructed with not just security in mind, but also aesthetics, ensuring that the city's inhabitants lived in an environment that was safe, beautiful, and harmonious with nature. But perhaps the most captivating tale of Dwarka is its mysterious submergence.
The submergence of those sites is largely because of subsidence of land rather than sea level rise, because it's relatively recent.
Legend has it that following Lord Krishna's departure from this world, the city met its end, swallowed by the sea. This story isn't just a pivotal chapter in Hindu mythology, marking the end of an era and the onset of Kali Yuga. It has also piqued the interest of archaeologists and historians. Their underwater explorations near the modern city of Dwarka have unearthed submerged structures, offering a tangible link to the city's legendary past. These discoveries hint at the existence of a significant settlement that might have gradually succumbed to rising sea levels or other catastrophic events, giving some historical backbone to the mythological tales. The submergence of Dwarka is often seen through a symbolic lens, reflecting on the ephemeral nature of wealth and the inevitability of change. It reminds us that even the most splendid creations, no matter how grand or well-built, are not immune to the forces of time and nature. This story, rich with historical intrigue and mythological depth, continues to enchant and provoke thought, bridging the ancient with the present and the mythical with the...
What if an entire world we once knew vanished beneath the ocean's surface, swallowed whole by the sea, leaving behind only whispers and legends? Could we piece together its stories from the watery grave that consumed it? And perhaps even more intriguing, what mysteries still lie hidden, waiting to be uncovered in the deep? Diving through the calm waters off the coast of Egypt, researchers discovered a truth stranger than the legends themselves. Here, beneath layers of sediment and marine life, sleep the ruins of cities once known to pharaohs, merchants, and pilgrims. As we drift closer to this sunken realm, questions emerge from the blue depths. Why did these cities vanish? How did they thrive before their quiet descent into obscurity? And what secrets might these ruins reveal about the ancient world's cultural crossroads?
For ages, scholars spoke of Thonis, Heracleion, and Canopus, two ancient cities situated near the mouth of the Nile. They were mentioned in texts, hinted at by passing references in historical accounts, yet no one alive had seen them. Their legacy survived as whispers in old writings. By the turn of the millennium, technological leaps made a new kind of exploration possible, and a team of underwater archaeologists embarked on a quest that would change our understanding of early Egyptian history. Before Alexandria's rise to fame, Thonis Heracleion was a grand gateway to Egypt, controlling seaborne trade and enforcing taxes on vessels arriving from distant ports. Its position at the mouth of the Nile made it a natural hub, a checkpoint for merchants navigating complicated trade routes. But if the city was so vital, why had it disappeared? The silence of these ruins suggested something slow and inevitable, perhaps a subtle sinking rather than a sudden cataclysm. Could shifting lands and trembling earth have undermined the city's foundations? When modern surveys began, archaeologists like Frank Goddio combined ancient texts, advanced sonar mapping, and magnetometers to find traces of the lost landscape. Slowly, stone fragments and monumental statues emerged. Intricate details, previously only imagined, were verified underwater. Step by step, block by block, Thonis Heracleion reintroduced itself to our world. Monuments that once soared above bustling streets lay toppled on the seabed, their carvings still crisp, their inscriptions still telling stories of gods and kings. This metropolis was no minor outpost. Coins, anchors, weights and measures, jewelry and ceramics revealed thriving trade links. Goods moved between Egypt and the greater Mediterranean, blending cultures and economies. Neighbouring Canopus, long famed for religious sanctuaries and spiritual practices, emerged from its watery cloak to reveal objects of devotion and ritual vessels. Pilgrims once flocked there to seek blessings and cures. Now, their footprints are erased, replaced by schools of fish and drifting seagrass. What made these discoveries so compelling was the cultural tapestry they wove. Egyptian, Greek, and even Roman elements danced together in the artifacts and architectural fragments. Gods from different pantheons were honored side by side. Temples reflected layered identities, mirroring the fluid cultural exchanges that marked this era of history. The cities were living, breathing testaments to a world without rigid borders, a world in constant conversation with itself. Yet these submerged cities are only one part of the puzzle. Off Alexandria's shores, fragments of what many believe to be Cleopatra's palatial district have also been found. How could we not be captivated by the possibility of wandering through halls the legendary queen once graced? The stones scattered on the seabed may have witnessed royal ceremonies, political intrigues, and romantic liaisons. If we listen closely, can we still sense Cleopatra's presence in these ruins? Preserving these treasures demands delicate expertise. Divers work slowly, carefully clearing silt to avoid damaging fragile artifacts. Specialized teams document each piece before it's raised to the surface for conservation. Museums curate these finds, unveiling them to a curious global audience. Traveling exhibitions bring these relics from the seabed into our modern-day consciousness, bridging millennia. The findings sharpen our perception of how ancient cities breathed, prospered, interacted, and fell silent beneath blue depths. Still, none of this fully answers the larger question. Why did they sink? Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. Some believe that the soft, waterlogged soils of the Nile Delta gradually gave way under the weight of temples and towers. Others point to subtle changes in climate and rising sea levels that crept in over centuries, pushing waters higher and higher until streets became canals and homes became reefs. Some suspect a more dramatic ending, an earthquake or a tsunami that shook the foundations, toppling what man had built. Could it have been a sudden cataclysm? The debate continues. As we watch the archaeological team at work, we witness a slow conversation across time. Each statue raised from the seabed speaks. Each inscription read under shifting light reveals a hidden chapter. These ghostly outlines of temples and sacred boats, these fragments of columns and shattered shrines, form a dialogue between today's scholars and yesterday's artisans. The archaeological evidence is overwhelming, says Frank Goddio, and each new find helps us piece together more of the puzzle that is ancient Egypt's maritime heritage. This puzzle, scattered across the seafloor, reflects a grandeur lost but not forgotten. Today, researchers question, hypothesize, and unearth, reconstructing a narrative that grows richer and more complex with every find. As we return to our initial questions, why did they vanish, and what did they leave behind? The answers emerge bit by bit beneath the water's surface. The real question is no longer whether we can find these lost cities, but how many more stories, hidden just out of sight, are yet to be revealed. If you like this video, then buckle up because you're going to love our next adventure. Get ready to discover the mystery of the bizarre ear tablets found near the Great Sphinx of Giza. That's right, we're diving deep into the ancient Egyptian practice of creating these strange votive offerings, also known as ear stelae, during the New Kingdom period. We'll explore their possible connection to the god Horemakhet, the Sphinx himself, and even other deities like Ptah. We're talking history, archaeology, and the hidden meaning behind these fascinating artifacts. Were they used for prayers? What secrets do the inscriptions hold? Join us next time as we uncover the secrets of ancient Egypt and these unique ear tablets. You won't want to miss it.
The sands of Egypt hold countless secrets, whispers of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. We are captivated by the grandeur of the pyramids, the enigmatic gaze of the Sphinx, and the intricate hieroglyphs that adorn temple walls. But sometimes, the most intriguing mysteries are found in the smaller, seemingly unusual artifacts. Today, we delve into one such enigma, the curious case of ancient Egyptian ear tablets. Our story begins in the 1930s, near the majestic Great Sphinx of Giza. Dr. Salim Hassan, a prominent Egyptologist, was leading excavations in and around the New Kingdom Sphinx temple built by Amenhotep II, as well as within the Sphinx's enclosure itself. Amidst the expected finds, something peculiar emerged. Stone stelae, not inscribed with the usual hieroglyphs or divine figures but with carvings of human ears. These were not isolated occurrences. Dozens of these ear tablets were unearthed, presenting a perplexing puzzle.
To people who aren't aware, there's a location in the Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania called the Rishat structure. It's also commonly referred to as the Eye of the Sahara. And what's so spectacular about this is that it just so happens to match more than a dozen striking similarities to what Plato had described as the lost ancient capital city of Atlantis.
Have you ever heard of the Eye of the Sahara? Officially known as the Rishat structure, this geological wonder is something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Because archaeologists roll their eyes every time you say the word Atlantis. But that is precisely the date that Plato gives for the destruction of Atlantis.
Picture this. A giant, almost circular dome sprawling 40 kilometers across the Sahara. So massive it's visible from space, but it's not just its size that's mind-blowing. The Rishat structure's beauty lies in its complexity, especially its mesmerizing concentric rings. These rings aren't your regular circles. They're like fingerprints, each one unique in width, composition, and how time and the elements have worn them down. It's as if nature itself was playing architect, crafting a masterpiece over millions of years through erosion.
It is a site that most people have never seen or heard of before, which is truly peculiar because it's so spectacular.
Wind and water have sculpted this dome layer by layer, revealing a range of rings that tell a story of resilience and transformation. Now let's delve into what makes up this stunning structure.
And what I'm focusing on is the lost capital city, which was said to be made up of concentric circles, 3 of water, 2 of land, which matches the Rishat structure.
The outermost rings boast Proterozoic quartzite, a rock so tough and ancient, it's been around for over 600 million years. Imagine that. Quartzite starts off as sandstone and undergoes a metamorphosis with heat and pressure, emerging as this incredibly hard rock. Move inward, and the materials shift to softer, sedimentary rocks like limestone, which forms in marine environments, and sandstone, composed of tiny mineral grains. At the heart of the Rishat structure, there's a fascinating mix called siliceous breccia, essentially a jumble of angular rock fragments bonded together, often found in volcanic areas or places with a lot of geological action. The Richat structure is not just a feast for the eyes, it's a geologist's dream. The variety of rock types and the formation's history offer a rare glimpse into the Earth's geological processes. When you dive into the origins of the Richat structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, you're essentially unpacking a geological mystery that's been in the making for millions of years. At the heart of this mystery is the uplifted dome theory, which geologists lean towards when explaining how this stunning feature came to be. Imagine the Earth's crust getting a gentle nudge from below, creating a bulge on the surface. Over eons, wind and water went to work on this dome, chiseling away at it. But here's the catch, not all rocks are made the same. Some are tougher, others are softer, so they didn't all erode at the same pace. This selective erosion crafted the Richat structure's iconic concentric rings, each layer telling a story of resilience and time. But wait, there's a twist in the tale thanks to Jimmy Corsetti.
The question becomes, is it big enough to be a city with possibly millions of people? Because the way it was described is that it was a city that was said to be busy all day, all night, rich in trade, with languages spoken from all over.
He floats a rather intriguing idea that maybe, just maybe, ancient humans had a hand in sculpting the Richat structure. While this leans more towards speculation, it's a fascinating thought that adds a pinch of mystery to an already captivating story. Now let's talk about the Sahara Desert, the Richat structure's vast, arid home. This desert environment, with its relentless wind erosion, has been a key player in shaping the structure. But remember, the Sahara wasn't always a desert.
And what people don't realize is that Sahara Africa, up until about 4,500 to 5,000 years ago, was totally green.
It has seen its fair share of climatic roller coasters over millions of years, each phase leaving its mark on the rate and style of erosion at the site. The rocks at the Richat structure are ancient historians, some dating back over 600 million years, offering a glimpse into the Earth's early days, continental drifts, and the dawn of life. The creation of the Richat structure wasn't an overnight affair. It was a marathon of geological activity, from the shifting of tectonic plates to the whims of climate change, all contributing to the structure's unique appearance. Erosion played the role of the sculptor, methodically revealing the different layers of rock beneath. One of the most striking aspects of the Richat structure is its near-perfect circular pattern, a feature so distinctive that astronauts use it as a space landmark.
Even if you went to Mauritania, so you could see this from space, astronauts use it as a locator, and they weren't really familiar or aware of it until the Gemini missions in the early 1960s.
It's a mesmerizing pattern that stands out in the vastness of the Sahara. Plato's tales of Atlantis, nestled within his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, really do spark the imagination, don't they? Written in the 4th century BC, at a time when Athens was basking in its golden era of philosophy and culture, Plato wasn't just any philosopher. He was a master of exploring deep concepts about society, ethics, and the nature of reality itself. Through these dialogues, it's like he's engaging in a spirited chat, using his characters to weave through various ideas and viewpoints. Then there's Atlantis, this mythical island city that Plato claimed existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we commonly associate with the Strait of Gibraltar today. He didn't hold back on the details, portraying Atlantis as a gargantuan landmass, outstripping the size of Libya and Asia put together. The description of its layout is nothing short of fascinating, featuring a series of concentric rings of land and sea that would have required an extraordinary feat of engineering to construct, with its elaborate canals and bridges. At the core of Atlantis was its fertile central plain, a farmer's dream, encircled by towering mountains that offered both a wealth of resources and a natural fortress. But the allure of Atlantis extended beyond its geography. Plato painted a picture of a city flush with resources and technological prowess, boasting an abundance of metals like the enigmatic orichalcum, alongside gold and silver. The infrastructure was ahead of its time, complete with sophisticated water systems, majestic temples, grand palaces, and bustling docks. Yet Atlantis was more than its physical attributes. Plato envisioned a society with a rich tapestry of laws, traditions, and governance, underpinned by a formidable military might. However, as the narrative unfolds, Atlantis transitions from a utopian exemplar to a cautionary tale of corruption and decline, ultimately leading to its downfall. This story, layered with intricate details and moral undertones, continues to captivate and fuel the imagination, a testament to Plato's enduring legacy. While there's a resemblance to Plato's Atlantis, the geographical settings throw us for a loop. The Riche structure sits in the heart of the Sahara, far from the Atlantic Ocean, where Atlantis was said to be.
But another little detail that most people aren't aware of, because they think of Atlantis like, oh, it must be at the bottom of the ocean. Well, that's not exactly how Plato worded it. Like, a lot of people see the Sahara Desert, and they don't realize that this place was unbelievably different than it is today.
This discrepancy hasn't stopped theorists from suggesting that perhaps the Sahara's landscape was vastly different in the past, possibly even near water, or more hospitable than today's arid expanse. The Eye of the Sahara isn't just a geological wonder, it's a treasure trove of archaeological finds that shed light on ancient human life. Stone tools scattered around the area, including arrowheads, scrapers, and axes, tell tales of hunting and crafting. Pottery fragments whisper secrets of domestic life, indicating a significant leap in cultural and technological evolution. But it's the remnants of potential permanent settlements that really pique our curiosity, suggesting that this wasn't merely a waypoint for nomads, but a home for a settled community. The rock art adorning cliff faces and cave interiors near the Riche structure is nothing short of mesmerizing. These paintings and engravings, featuring animals like antelopes and elephants, transport us to a time when the Sahara thrived with life. Human figures and abstract designs depicted in these artworks offer glimpses into the social, cultural, and possibly spiritual lives of these ancient peoples. The rock art adorning cliff faces and cave interiors near the Rishat structure is nothing short of mesmerizing. These archaeological discoveries are not just remnants of a bygone era, they're pieces of a puzzle that help us piece together the story of human existence and evolution in the Sahara. They speak of adaptation and resilience in the face of climatic shifts that transformed a once lush region into the vast desert we see today. The prospect of permanent settlements, while still under investigation, opens new chapters in the story of African prehistory, enriching our understanding of early human societies on this diverse continent. It's a testament to the power of the past, and how even the smallest clues can illuminate the vast tapestry of human history.
It'll mean a journey of 1,200 miles over rock and sand, by vehicle, camel, and on foot. And it's a dangerous journey. They call it the land of fear. It takes its name from the Arabic word for emptiness, al-Zahara.
The vast area that was submerged during the end of the Ice Age has never been studied by archaeology at all. And they're not in a position to say that they know that there's no possibility of a lost civilization during the Ice Age, while they haven't investigated those 27 million square kilometers that are now underwater, when they haven't investigated the Sahara Desert.
When we think of the Sahara Desert, we think of endless sand. But what really lays beneath all the sand? The Sahara Desert, it's like a time machine preserving the ancient history of Earth under all that sand. The Nubian civilization, flourishing in what's now Sudan and southern Egypt, is an incredible chapter of history that's often not as highlighted as it should be. This civilization, which stretched from around 2000 BCE all the way to 350 CE, shows us just how advanced and rich in culture, architecture, and politics an ancient society could be. Imagine a civilization that lasted over 2 millennia, peaking during various periods like the Kingdom of Kerma, the Napatan period, and the Meroitic period. Nubia was strategically located along the Nile River, stretching from the first cataract in southern Egypt to the sixth cataract in central Sudan. This prime location along the Nile was not just for show. It played a huge role in establishing Nubia as a powerhouse of trade and economic activity. They were known for their abundant gold mines, which pretty much made them the go-to spot for luxury items like ivory, incense, and ebony. These goods were highly sought after in both sub-Saharan Africa and the Mediterranean world, making Nubia a crucial hub in ancient trade networks.
In fact, that was one of the main arguments that the archaeological police used to try to dismiss John West and Robert Schoch. They said, show us another culture that's 12,000 years old anywhere in the world, and we might listen to you. But we know that there is no culture capable of creating anything like the Sphinx until 4,500 years ago. Therefore, of course, the Sphinx is 4,500 years ago. But of course, that changed completely with Göbekli Tepe, which is a deliberately buried site, deliberately buried 11,600 years ago.
Now let's talk about Nubia's relationship with ancient Egypt. It was nothing short of complex and fascinating. The interactions ranged from trade and cultural exchanges to outright warfare and conquests. There were times when Nubian pharaohs actually ruled over Egypt, especially during the 25th dynasty. This period is a testament to Nubia's strength and influence in the region. The kingdoms of Nubia, nestled along the Nile in what's now Sudan and southern Egypt, really tell us a story of an incredibly rich history, full of architectural wonders. Let's take a closer look at what made these kingdoms so remarkable. Starting with Kerma, dating way back to around 2500–1500 BCE, it's fascinating to think this was the first centralized state in Nubia. It was more than just a political hub. Its strategic location on the Nile made it a hotbed for trade. The architecture here was quite unique too, with large mud brick structures called defufas. Their purpose? Well, that's still something of a mystery. Were they temples, palaces, or something else? And let's not forget the artistry in their pottery and crafts, especially the black-topped red ware and their work with ivory and gold. Then there's Napata, around 1300 BCE, which really left its mark as a cultural and religious center. This is where Nubia began to exert its influence over Egypt, especially during the 25th dynasty. Think about the Temple of Amun in Napata. It wasn't just a religious site, but a pivotal spot influencing Nubian culture and politics. And the royal burials of this time, with pyramids at sites like El Kuru and Nuri, show just how much Egyptian culture influenced them. Fast forward to around 300 BCE, 350 CE, and we see the capital shifting from Napata to Meroe. This move wasn't just geographical, it signified a shift in political and cultural power too. Meroe was a hub for the arts and industry, known especially for its iron industry and the development of the Meroitic script, an early African written language outside of the Egyptian hieroglyphic system.
Part of the problem is that very ancient structures, thousands of years older than archaeologists suppose, may be hiding in plain view, surrounded by other younger structures. And the best example of that really is the Great Sphinx of Giza, and these two temples in front of it. This temple is a New Kingdom temple, much later even than the accepted date of the Sphinx, which is about 4,500 years ago. But the Sphinx and these two temples are deeply anomalous.
Now let's talk about the architectural marvels of Nubia, the pyramids. Yes, Nubia had over 200 pyramids, mostly concentrated at places like El Kuru, Nuri, and Meroe. These weren't like the Egyptian pyramids we often think of. They were smaller, with steeper sides, and often featured elaborate carvings and hieroglyphics. These pyramids were royal tombs, and the burial chambers beneath them were often richly decorated. These pyramid complexes, part of larger royal cemeteries, included mortuary temples and chapels, showing a deep belief in the afterlife. The Garamantes civilization, centered in what's now southwestern Libya's Fezzan region, is a real eye-opener about how advanced ancient societies were, especially in such challenging environments like the Sahara. This area, known for its oasis environments, was crucial for sustaining life, and the Garamantes were pretty ingenious in adapting to these harsh conditions. So picture this. From around 500 BCE to 700 CE, the Garamantes were at their peak. This wasn't just a flash in the pan, it was a long period of development and stability. They were ahead of their time in agricultural techniques, urban planning, and establishing far-reaching trade networks. It's like they were the ancient masters of making the desert work for them. Archaeological digs in the region have unearthed some pretty cool stuff. For starters, they found these elaborate tombs, which really say a lot about their beliefs in the afterlife, something many ancient civilizations had in common. The complexity and size of these tombs also tell us there was a social hierarchy with different levels of wealth and status. The goods buried with the deceased give us a peek into their cultural practices and beliefs. The ruins of Garamantian cities are something out of an ancient urban planner's dream. They had organized street layouts that show a high level of social organization and civil engineering skills. What's more impressive is their water management systems. In a place as dry as the Sahara, they managed to create reservoirs and irrigation systems, which were crucial for their survival and agricultural activities. Plus, they had defensive structures hinting that they were prepared for potential threats. Now let's talk trade. They found Roman coins in the excavation sites, which means the Garamantes had trade connections with the Roman Empire. Imagine the caravans going back and forth across the desert. They also found Egyptian amulets and items from sub-Saharan Africa, showing that their trade network was vast and varied. The diversity of goods found at these sites underscores their role as a major trading hub and their interactions with different cultures.
And weirdly, up there near Cuzco, we have this curious stonework, and we also have it at Alakahoyuk in Turkey. Exactly the same kind of thing. Is this a coincidence, or is there something going on behind the scenes of history that we've not been fully informed about yet? And oddly, these patterns, these T-shaped pillars that we see at Göbekli Tepe are repeated at the Temple of Edfu in Upper Egypt and also in Peru.
Now moving on, Tassili N'Ajjer in Algeria is truly one of those places that take you back in time, all the way to the early days of human civilization. Nestled in southeastern Algeria, right in the heart of the Sahara Desert, this area is a treasure trove of history. Picture this: vast sandstone formations, cliffs, deep valleys, and rock shelters. It's not just a stunning natural landscape. These features have been key in preserving some incredible prehistoric rock art. Now let's talk about this rock art. It's not just a few drawings here and there. We're talking about artwork that dates back to the Neolithic period, some as old as 12,000 years. Discovered by a French military expedition in the 1930s, these paintings give us a fascinating glimpse into the lives of the people who lived back then. You've got human figures, wild and domestic animals, and scenes that show everything from hunting and gathering to dancing and rituals. What's really interesting is how the art changes over time, starting with wild animals and hunting scenes and gradually moving to domesticated cattle and herding. It's like a visual story of how these ancient folks transitioned from hunting-gathering to pastoralism. But it's not just about the art. Archaeologists have found all sorts of tools and pottery in Tassili N'Ajjer, indicating that people have been living here for thousands of years. These artifacts range from simple stone tools used by hunter-gatherers to more sophisticated items linked to settled communities. It's amazing how much you can learn about past lifestyles and technological progress just by looking at these objects. Now let's not forget about preserving this incredible site. Tassili N'Ajjer was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982, which is fantastic because it helps in getting the support needed for its preservation. But keeping this site in good shape isn't easy. The art is facing threats from natural erosion and potentially even climate change. Plus, there's the impact of tourism. Sure, tourism raises awareness and brings in funds for preservation, but it also means more people walking around these precious artworks. When you think of the Sahara Desert today, it's all about vast stretches of sand and scorching heat, right? But believe it or not, this wasn't always the case. There's a whole hidden history beneath those dunes, and it's been uncovered through the study of fossils and isotope analysis. So let's dive into this hidden past. The Sahara has turned up fossils of all sorts of aquatic life. We're talking fish, mollusks, and even plants. And these aren't just any old fossils. They're often in great condition, which is pretty wild considering they've been under the desert for ages. These fossils got preserved because they were quickly buried under sediments in ancient lakes and rivers, which kept them safe from decay. And the dating of these fossils, it goes back millions of years, painting a long history of environmental change in the Sahara. Now these fossils tell us a lot about what the Sahara used to be like. Fish fossils suggest there were rivers and lakes around, while marine shells hint at the possibility of larger water bodies, maybe even shallow seas. Plus, the variety of species points to a time when the Sahara was home to rich and diverse ecosystems. But here's where it gets even more interesting. These fossils aren't just found in one spot, they're all over the Sahara, which means these water bodies were widespread. Satellite imagery and geological surveys have even mapped out ancient river systems that line up with where these fossils were found. And there's a lot of variation in the types and amounts of fossils in different areas, showing just how diverse the climate and environment were across the Sahara. Then there's isotope analysis, which is like a detective tool for figuring out past climates. By looking at the ratios of certain isotopes in sediment layers, scientists can work out past temperatures and rainfall. Higher ratios of oxygen-18, for example, usually mean more evaporation, pointing to warmer, drier periods. Carbon isotopes can tell us about the types of plants that were around, giving clues about how much rain there was. This isotope analysis has been super useful in understanding how the Sahara's climate has changed over time. It's shown variations in rainfall, helping to piece together the story of how the Sahara went from lush and green to the desert we know today. And it's not just about the Sahara. This data fits into the bigger picture of global climate events like ice ages. So, in a nutshell, the Sahara's past is a lot different than its present. Once a place with rivers, lakes, and a variety of life, it's now the iconic desert. But thanks to fossils and isotope analysis, we can glimpse its green past and understand the changes that led to its current state. It's a fascinating reminder of how much our planet can change over time.
This is quite a famous phenomenon in Turkey, that there are huge cities. They look like ant farms on an enormous scale that are dug out under the earth. Hundreds and hundreds of rooms, that huge efforts was put into digging deep beneath the earth and creating these shelters.
Nestled in the heart of Turkey's enchanting Cappadocia region lies Derinkuyu, an ancient underground city that stands as a monument to the ingenuity and resilience of bygone civilizations. Its fascinating origins, complex construction, and versatile uses offer a glimpse into a community that sought refuge beneath the Earth's surface, crafting a hidden world of remarkable depth and complexity.
And archaeology does not have a good explanation about what they're there for, or why they were built, or when they were built. They're all cut out of stone. You can only date objects that were left in them. You can't say when they were actually made.
The story of Derinkuyu begins in the 8th, 7th centuries BCE, with the Phrygians, an Indo-European people renowned for their architectural skills, laying its foundation. What likely started as a modest subterranean enclave was expanded by successive cultures, each adding layers of depth and function to this architectural marvel. Notably, in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, early Christians seeking sanctuary from Roman persecution carved out additional living quarters, worship spaces, and communal areas.
They were used by Christians, they were used by Muslims, they were used back in 2,000 plus years ago as homes in some cases.
The construction of Derinkuyu was no small feat. It involved the excavation of approximately 2.5 million cubic meters of volcanic rock, known as tuff, which is soft enough to carve but hardens when exposed to air, ensuring stability for the city's expansive underground structures. Derinkuyu's purpose extended far beyond a mere hideout. It was a bastion during invasions and conflicts in the strategically significant region of Cappadocia.
What makes sense of those underground cities to me is that they were built as places of refuge that people could go into during an episode of meteor bombardment during the Younger Dryas.
Beyond serving as a refuge, it also offered a complete underground living environment with water wells, food storage, livestock pens, and even a prison.
They're fine. They have air vents, they have water, they're incredibly well thought out.
Its intricate layout supported a vibrant community life, with residential areas, communal kitchens, and places of worship, reflecting a society capable of sophisticated urban planning and social organization. The city's capacity to house up to 20,000 people, coupled with its advanced infrastructure, including an extensive ventilation system and a complex water distribution network, speaks volumes about the ancient world's architectural and engineering prowess.
I spent hours down there just wandering around and looking at this amazing place.
Of particular note is Derinkuyu's significance to early Christians who found not just a safe haven, but a spiritual sanctuary within its depths. The numerous chapels and churches adorned with religious symbols and bas-reliefs provided a focal point for community and faith, underscoring the city's importance as a religious retreat. Derinkuyu, an underground world equivalent to an 18-story building below the Earth's surface. This ancient city, carved deep into the Earth to a depth of around 200 feet, provided a year-round comfortable living environment. Thanks to its cooler and more stable temperatures, it's fascinating to think about how it was designed to house up to 20,000 people, along with their livestock and possessions, showcasing an incredibly organized society, adept at managing life's necessities in such a confined yet complex space. With at least 18 levels, Derinkuyu was more than just a series of tunnels. It was a fully functioning underground metropolis. The city was meticulously organized into residential areas, communal spaces, and even sectors for livestock, indicating a society that valued structure and community. The intricate layout ensured that despite being underground, movement within the city was fluid. The city's innovative ventilation system is nothing short of remarkable. Thousands of shafts ensured that fresh air reached the deepest levels, a feat that underscores an advanced understanding of environmental control and airflow. This system was crucial for not only providing fresh air, but also for dispersing smoke from cooking and lighting, maintaining air quality for the large population residing within. But perhaps what stands out most about Derinkuyu are its defensive features. Massive stone doors could be rolled across passages to seal off the city, transforming it into a fortress at a moment's notice. The corridors, intentionally narrow, were designed to thwart large groups of invaders, allowing defenders to control movement throughout the city effectively. Moreover, the hidden entrances and exits, some connected to the surface by miles-long tunnels, speak volumes about the strategic planning that went into safeguarding the city. These secret passages allowed for stealthy entrances and exits, crucial for gathering intelligence or making escapes during sieges. Despite the extensive exploration that has peeled back some of its layers, Derinkuyu keeps parts of itself hidden, teasing the imagination with what lies in its uncharted depths. While we've uncovered much, there's still a vast expanse that remains out of reach. Safety concerns and the potential risk of collapse have kept certain sections off-limits, sparking a wildfire of speculation and theories about the full scale of this underground labyrinth. Could there be entire levels we've yet to discover, or hidden rooms filled with ancient artifacts waiting to tell their part of Derinkuyu's tale? The lore surrounding Derinkuyu and its sister cities in Cappadocia weaves a rich tapestry of tales that blur the lines between history and legend. Stories of a vast network of tunnels connecting the underground cities suggest a sophisticated system used for trade, communication, or even as escape routes from invaders.
The two that I visited in the series are Derinkuyu and Kaimakli, and these two sites are joined by an 8-kilometer tunnel underground.
While some of these tunnels have been confirmed, the full extent of this network fuels the imagination about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. Speculation about Derinkuyu's past ventures into the realms of the extraordinary, with some suggesting it might have been a refugee for extraterrestrial visitors or a remnant of a lost advanced civilization. Although such theories stretch beyond the bounds of established archaeological evidence, they underscore the fascination Derinkuyu incites, reflecting the human penchant for mystery and the unexplained. Derinkuyu is a hidden gem that tells a tale of human resilience, architectural mastery, and the intricate history of Anatolia. This ancient underground city, a sanctuary carved from the earth, speaks volumes about the lengths to which people will go to protect their beliefs, their culture, and their way of life. Imagine a time between the 1st and 3rd centuries AD when early Christians facing relentless persecution from the Roman Empire sought refuge beneath the earth's surface. Derinkuyu became their sanctuary, a place where they could practice their faith in secret away from the oppressive gaze of Roman authorities. Within this subterranean haven, they carved out chapels and churches, adorning them with frescoes that depicted scenes from the Bible and Christian iconography, creating a space that was not just about survival, but about preserving their spiritual and cultural identity. But Derinkuyu was not an isolated refuge, it was part of a vast network of underground cities in Cappadocia, connected by miles of tunnels. These connections weren't just for escape or hiding, they represented a sophisticated system for trade, communication, and strategic movement, highlighting an advanced level of social organization and urban planning in ancient Cappadocia. This network of cities underlines the region's significance as a cultural and economic hub, showcasing the ingenuity of its people in creating a cohesive and cooperative community. The modern rediscovery of Derinkuyu is as fascinating as its history. In 1963, a local stumbled upon a mysterious room behind a wall in his home, unveiling the entrance to this ancient city. This discovery captured the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and the wider public, leading to the exploration of the city and its eventual opening to tourists. Today, Derinkuyu is not just an archaeological site, it's a major tourist attraction that draws people from all over the world eager to explore its ancient passageways, chapels, and the incredible engineering behind its construction. Derinkuyu's significance has been recognized on a global scale, as it, along with other sites in the Cappadocia region, has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This honor speaks to its value to humanity, preserving its history and architecture for future generations. The city stands as a symbol of what humans are capable of achieving when faced with existential threats, creating safe havens of remarkable complexity and beauty. Beyond its historical and architectural value, Derinkuyu serves as an educational resource, offering insights into ancient construction techniques, community living, and survival strategies. It continues to inspire and educate, reminding us of the depths of human ingenuity and the enduring spirit of communities that have faced adversity throughout history.
This is one of the things that, the archaeologists and the prehistorians, people are looking at that, have failed to take into account. Now, within there could be all kinds of stuff that's not even recognized as being artificial in the sense that humans had anything to do with it.
Tucked away in the heart of the Great Pyramid of Giza lies the King's Chamber, a marvel of ancient Egyptian architecture that continues to fascinate historians and visitors alike.
If you look at the famous King's Chamber, its walls and its ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic granite blocks.
Imagine walking through the Grand Gallery, a corridor stretching 47 meters long and rising 8.6 meters high, to reach this iconic chamber. This journey alone, through such an expansive space within the solid stone of the pyramid, showcases the incredible skill of ancient Egyptian builders.
Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Well, maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do, but when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all.
The King's Chamber itself is a testament to the Egyptians' advanced understanding of materials and construction techniques. Carved from red granite brought all the way from Aswan, over 800 kilometers away, the chamber's very walls speak of a civilization capable of monumental feats of logistics and engineering. The room's dimensions, about 10.47 meters by 5.234 meters and 5.974 meters high, are thought to be imbued with symbolic meaning, perhaps aligning with celestial or pharaonic principles.
If we're only looking for a mere reflection of ourselves, we could overlook it completely. I think we're getting very close to rediscovering some of the things that our ancient ancestors were up to.
At the chamber's center lies a red granite sarcophagus, believed to be the intended resting place of Pharaoh Khufu, though intriguingly, no human remains have ever been discovered within it. The sarcophagus bears marks of damage and wear, silent witnesses to the millennia that have passed since its creation. Its very presence in the chamber, given its size, suggests it was placed there during the construction of the room, hinting at the meticulous planning that went into the pyramid's design. Above the chamber, an ingenious system of 5 relieving chambers helps distribute the weight of the pyramid, protecting the space below. This feature highlights the ancient builders' sophisticated understanding of structural integrity. Additionally, the chamber is equipped with 2 narrow shafts extending to the pyramid's exterior. Initially thought to be for ventilation, these shafts are now believed to possibly serve a more symbolic purpose, possibly aligning with stars or celestial phenomena significant to Khufu's journey in the afterlife. Step into the heart of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and you'll find yourself in the Grand Gallery, an awe-inspiring testament to the ancient Egyptians' architectural genius.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, at a lost technology.
This corridor is not just a path to the King's Chamber. It's a showcase of ancient ingenuity and a symbol of the civilization's advanced engineering capabilities. Imagine walking through this grand space, with walls that narrow as you look upwards, thanks to the sophisticated corbelling technique used in its construction. This method, where each layer of stone slightly overhangs the one below, creates a dramatic narrowing effect towards the ceiling. It's a clear sign of the Egyptians' mastery in using architecture not only for structural stability, but also to inspire awe. The materials themselves, limestone blocks for the walls and heavier stones for the ceiling, were chosen with care, ensuring the gallery could bear the immense weight of the pyramid above. The Grand Gallery served a crucial role as the gateway to the king's chamber, possibly designed to awe and inspire those who walked its length. But its purpose might have extended beyond mere access. Some scholars suggest it played a part in the pharaoh's funeral procession or other rituals connected to the afterlife journey. Features like the Great Step, a massive stone at the gallery's end, and various slots and holes along its walls hint at a space designed for more than simple passage, possibly aiding in the construction of the chamber. Moving on to another fascinating marvel of the pyramid, the Queen's Chamber. It holds mysteries that have puzzled scholars and enthusiasts for centuries. Despite its regal name, it's widely believed that this chamber was never intended as a final resting place for a queen. The lack of any burial artifacts and its distinctive features have sparked endless speculation about its true purpose. Positioned centrally within the pyramid, yet at a lower elevation compared to the majestic king's chamber, the Queen's Chamber offers its own unique allure. Imagine venturing about 20 meters above the ground level through a corridor extending from the Grand Gallery to discover this intriguing space. Its dimensions create an unexpectedly spacious environment, with a pointed roof reaching up towards the pyramid's core, adding to the chamber's grandeur. One of the chamber's most striking features is a large niche in the eastern wall. Standing about 4.6 meters high, this vertical recess has baffled many. Was it intended for a statue serving a symbolic or ritualistic purpose, or does it hold a deeper meaning related to the pharaoh's journey in the afterlife? The construction technique of the chamber's roof, using corbelled layers of stone that create an inverted V-shape, mirrors the design seen in the king's chamber, suggesting a deliberate architectural choice to ensure stability and perhaps to bear symbolic weight. Theories about the chamber's purpose are as varied as they are fascinating. Some suggest it was used for rituals related to the pharaoh's rebirth or regeneration, with the niche possibly housing a statue or symbolic object. Others propose that its location and design might reflect ancient Egyptian cosmological beliefs or serve a more mundane purpose, like distributing the pyramid's weight or housing a statue of the deceased in a serdab-like arrangement. Recent technological advances have opened new doors in understanding the Queen's Chamber. Non-invasive techniques like infrared thermography and muon radiography have been employed to peek behind the chamber's walls, searching for unknown cavities or clues to its construction and purpose. Within the Great Pyramids lays another mystery. Its air shafts and the subterranean chamber, features as fascinating as they are puzzling. The air shafts, narrow corridors carved into the stone, stretch from the king's and queen's chambers to the pyramid's exterior. These aren't your average architectural elements. Their design, discovery, and speculated purposes are a treasure trove of intrigue and speculation. First off, these air shafts are tiny, just about 20 by 20 centimeters, too narrow for any human to pass through. They zigzag with precision towards the heavens, pointing to specific regions in the sky that held great significance in ancient Egyptian cosmology. Discovered in 1872 by the engineer Wayman Dixon, the shafts from the Queen's Chamber were a late find in the pyramid's history, adding layers to the mystery surrounding this ancient wonder. Originally thought to ventilate the chambers, this idea doesn't hold up for the Queen's Chamber shafts, which don't quite reach the exterior. Instead, the prevailing theories are far more mystical. Some believe these shafts were aligned with stars or constellations like Orion and Sirius, linking the pharaoh with the gods of the afterlife. The intrigue doesn't end there. With modern tech, robotic cameras probe these shafts, uncovering doors and chambers within, deepening the mystery. What were these ancient engineers up to? The plot thickens with the subterranean chamber, a rough-hewn space carved into the bedrock. Unlike the finished elegance of the pyramid's upper chambers, this one's all raw edges and mystery, suggesting it was abandoned mid-construction. Was it intended as Khufu's original tomb, a symbolic underworld, or something more practical like a flood defense, Theories abound, but no one's quite cracked the code. This chamber's unfinished nature has led to all sorts of speculation about its purpose and why it was left incomplete. Imagine stumbling upon a hidden chamber within one of the world's oldest and most mysterious monuments. That's exactly what happened when scientists discovered the Big Void, a revelation that's as thrilling as it is mystifying. The key to uncovering the Big Void was muon radiography, a fancy term for a technique that uses naturally occurring particles called muons, which rain down from the Earth's atmosphere. These particles have the unique ability to penetrate solid stone, providing a way to peek inside the pyramid without drilling or causing damage. By detecting variations in muon density, scientists can identify empty spaces, like our newly found void. This discovery was the result of international teamwork, part of the Scan Pyramids project, which brought together experts from around the globe to explore the pyramid's innermost secrets. So, what do we know about the Big Void? Well, it's situated above the Grand Gallery, a known cavity within the pyramid, and stretches for at least 30 meters, roughly the length of the gallery below. Its size suggests it was a significant part of the pyramid's design, but its purpose remains a tantalizing mystery. Was it intended to relieve weight from the Grand Gallery below, a hidden chamber for ceremonies, or perhaps just an architectural quirk? The truth is, we're not quite sure yet. The discovery of the Big Void opens up new avenues for exploration and research. Scientists are now considering more advanced methods to study the void in detail, like drilling small holes to insert cameras, all without harming the pyramid's structure. This void could provide invaluable insights into how the ancient Egyptians built such monumental structures and why they included such spaces within the pyramid's design. Each new discovery within the Great Pyramid is a piece of the puzzle in understanding one of humanity's most remarkable achievements. The Big Void isn't just an empty space, it's a reminder of the mysteries still waiting to be solved and the stories of the past yet to be told.
But he found evidence of deliberate burial in a very complicated, difficult cave system, which you can hardly access. The archaeological establishment descended on him like a ton of bricks and tried to find all kinds of reasons why it couldn't possibly be.
Did you know about the mysterious Osiris shaft hidden away on the Giza Plateau? This intriguing archaeological site, tucked away from the more famous Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, has a story that's slowly been coming to light over the years. While the big monuments grabbed all the early attention, the Osiris shaft waited quietly for its turn in the spotlight.
Would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of a lost technology from the past?
I think it would be fair to say that, yes.
It wasn't just another hole in the ground. This shaft held secrets of ancient Egyptian civilization and their religious practices that were only beginning to be uncovered. It's fascinating to think that this place was just sitting there, known since the late 19th century but not getting much love from explorers. They were all dazzled by the pyramids and Sphinx.
I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, at a lost technology.
But as it turns out, the Osiris shaft had its own tale to tell, one that required a bit of patience to fully appreciate. Enter the 1990s and things started to change. That's when Zahi Hawass, a name many of you might recognize, took the reins and decided it was time to give the Osiris shaft the attention it deserved. Under his guidance, a thorough exploration began, peeling back the layers of its complex. Modern pumping equipment and clear out all that water just to access the deepest secrets of the shaft. Its 3 levels diving deep into the earth turned out to be a fascinating puzzle of architecture, burial customs and hidden treasures. The first thing that caught their eyes was the shaft's design itself. It's a marvel of ancient engineering, with each level serving its own mysterious purpose. Down at the very bottom, a large stone sarcophagus sits in a chamber that's partly underwater. painting a vivid picture of the ancient Egyptian underworld right there beneath our feet. It's as if they built their own version of the afterlife hidden deep in the Giza Plateau. But then there's the second level with its 6 empty burial shafts. Imagine the archaeologists' surprise finding them all vacant. It sparks so many questions. Were they plundered, or were they never meant to hold anything in the first place? This level offers a glimpse into the burial practices and rituals of the time, even if it leaves us guessing about some of the details. Despite the lack of inscriptions, a kind of ancient billboard that could have told us exactly who made this and when, the bits and pieces found throughout the shaft speak volumes. Pottery shards, fragments of stone vessels, and other small artifacts serve as breadcrumbs leading us back in time, suggesting that the Osiris shaft might hail from the New Kingdom period. It's like detective work, where every clue helps build a case for when this incredible structure came into being. But perhaps the most touching finds were the mummified remains tucked away in the smaller chambers around that central sarcophagus. It's one thing to study the grand monuments and temples, but it's another to come face to face with the people themselves. Analyzing these remains gives us a rare peek into the lives of those who once walked the streets of ancient Egypt, what they ate, how they lived, and maybe even how they died. Let's talk about Osiris for a moment. He's not your average deity, he's the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, death and rebirth. The story goes that Osiris was betrayed by his brother Set, leading to a saga of death, dismemberment, and a resurrection that sounds like it came straight out of a blockbuster movie. His wife Isis put him back together and brought him back to life. Osiris's story is a cornerstone of Egyptian mythology, embodying the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And guess what? The Osiris shaft is like a 3-dimensional tribute to this epic tale. Down in the depths of the shaft, there's this chamber filled with water that's believed to represent the underworld. Imagine standing there in front of a large stone sarcophagus that's meant to symbolize Osiris's tomb. It's not just a tomb, it's a symbol of his journey through death and his role as the ruler of the afterlife. But why build such a place? Well, one theory is that the Osiris shaft was a venue for initiation rites. Think of it as a spiritual boot camp where participants would undergo trials, symbolizing death and rebirth, much like Osiris did. These rites weren't just for show. They were believed to impart secret knowledge and bring about a spiritual transformation in the initiates. Some even speculate that the shaft's design was guided by the stars, aligning with celestial bodies that the ancient Egyptians associated with Osiris and the afterlife. It's as if the shaft was a bridge between Earth and the heavens, a physical representation of the soul's journey after death. What's truly fascinating is how the physical structure of the Osiris shaft and the artifacts found within echo the ancient texts like the pyramid texts and the Book of the Dead. These texts offer a glimpse into the Egyptian view of the afterlife, complete with references to water, boats, and, yes, the significance of sarcophagi. It's like the shaft is a stone-bound version of these ancient scrolls, a tangible connection to the beliefs and rituals of a civilization long gone. Buried deep within the limestone bedrock, the Osiris shaft, it's a 3-level maze that masterfully blends practicality with a touch of the mystical. Let's dive into what makes the architecture and structure of the Osiris shaft so fascinating. First off, the way this shaft was designed and built is nothing short of amazing. It shows just how advanced the ancient Egyptians were in their planning and building techniques. The precision with which they carved out these chambers from the bedrock really makes you wonder about their deep understanding of the earth beneath them. At the entrance, you're greeted by a rectangular opening that starts your descent into the depths. This isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a carefully carved vertical shaft dropping down about 10 meters. Imagine the effort it took to remove all that limestone, using tools made from harder stones and metals, and even ropes and wooden scaffolding. It's a testament to their engineering skills. The first chamber you hit is pretty modest. No flashy decorations or treasures, but its simplicity might have been the point. It's like a waiting room or a space for getting ready for something more profound down below, maybe even for some kind of purification rites. But the real intrigue starts when you go deeper to the second level. Here, there's another shaft leading down another 20 meters, and this chamber is a bit more complex. These shafts could have been meant for actual burials, or perhaps as a representation of the journey to the afterlife. The third level is where things get even more dramatic. You go down another shaft, and this time you're 30 meters below the surface. Here lies a large stone sarcophagus, right in the center of the chamber. This isn't just a burial place, it's a symbolic representation of Osiris's tomb. The fact that this chamber is partially filled with water from the natural sophisticated society. Could it be that this ancient marvel is much older than we think, or that it was built with wisdom handed down from this enigmatic civilization? Hancock's fascination doesn't stop at architecture. He's also keenly interested in how these ancient structures align with the stars. While he hasn't specifically pinpointed the Osiris shaft in his star maps, it's easy to imagine it fitting neatly into his grand scheme of things. Could the shaft's orientation hint at a connection to celestial events or constellations tied to Osiris and the themes of death and rebirth? Hancock's work suggests that many of Egypt's ancient monuments are part of a larger cosmic blueprint, and the Osiris shaft might just be another piece of that puzzle. One of the more dramatic elements of Hancock's theories involves global cataclysms, particularly those caused by comet impacts around 12,800 to 11,600 years ago, during what's known as the Younger Dryas. He proposes that these catastrophic events could have wiped out the advanced civilization he theorizes about. So, when we look at the water filling the lower levels of the Osiris shaft, Hancock might see it as more than just groundwater seepage. He could interpret it as a deliberate nod to the ancient deluges, a symbol of the world-altering floods that his hypothesized civilization endured. Do you think there have been multiple ancient cataclysms?
By all accounts, we are looking, if we take what's still under the ground into account, we're looking at the largest megalithic site that's ever been created on Earth.
Göbekli Tepe is a site that truly boggles the mind, taking us back over 11,000 years to a time when prehistoric peoples demonstrated remarkable capabilities that challenge our understanding of early human civilization.
The sudden appearance, 7,000 years before Stonehenge, of a megalithic site that dwarfs Stonehenge, to me that's a mystery, and it's really worth inquiring into.
Imagine this. Massive stone pillars, each carved from limestone using nothing more than simple stone tools. It's a task that would require not just considerable skill, but a collective effort from a group of people who had yet to discover the wheel or metal tools. These pillars weren't just any stones, they were shaped into T-forms, a design that's unique to Göbekli Tepe, standing up to 5.5 meters tall and weighing up to 20 tons.
One of the many ways that Göbekli Tepe, I think, is going to prove to be a game changer is it's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites around the world.
The effort to transport and erect these massive stones without modern technology is nothing short of astonishing. Using levers, ropes, and wooden sledges, the people of Göbekli Tepe managed to move these enormous stones over considerable distances, a testament to their ingenuity and teamwork. This wasn't a small feat, it required a high level of social organization and cooperation, suggesting that this community was far from the nomadic bands of hunter-gatherers we often imagine.
So why did archaeologists tell us for so long hunter-gatherers couldn't do it, and we needed agricultural populations that could generate surpluses, that could pay for the specialists
that was
to...
the theory.
Instead, they were capable of complex planning and communal effort, likely driven by shared beliefs and common goals. The technological innovation and architectural planning evident in Göbekli Tepe's construction are truly ahead of their time. The precision in the carving and erection of the pillars, along with the thoughtful layout of the site, show an advanced understanding of stone masonry and basic engineering principles. This sophistication challenges the simplistic view we often have of prehistoric societies, revealing a people capable of complex thought and remarkable feats of engineering. When you dive into the story of Göbekli Tepe, you're not just exploring ancient ruins. You're stepping into a world where prehistoric peoples pulled off engineering marvels that would be daunting even by today's standards. Picture this: a community back in the 10th millennium BCE, without access to metal tools, the wheel, or any form of animal labor, decides to build something extraordinary. They set their sights on massive limestone pillars, each one towering over 5 meters high and weighing around 10 tons. And they decide to quarry, shape, transport, and erect these giants using nothing but stone hammers, wooden tools, and sheer human will. It's a scenario that might make a modern engineer blink twice. These ancient builders leveraged ingenious methods, likely rolling these colossal stones over logs or dragging them on sleds made from tree trunks, all coordinated by what must have been an incredible communal effort. Just imagine the sight: hundreds of people coming together, each one playing a part in this monumental task. It wasn't just about physical strength, it required a high degree of planning, coordination, and social organization, suggesting that these early communities were far more complex than we often give them credit for. And let's talk about the layout of Göbekli Tepe. It wasn't a haphazard arrangement of stones.
Göbekli Tepe is a bit more nuanced. You know, we have stone circles, we have some interesting astronomical alignments. The world's first perfectly north-south aligned building.
These T-shaped pillars were carefully positioned to form circular enclosures, a testament to the builders' advanced planning and knowledge of stonemasonry. They understood the properties of limestone, knew how to quarry large blocks and shape them with precision. The placement of each pillar was intentional, reflecting a deep understanding of geometry and structural engineering. Göbekli Tepe is like a time capsule that's slowly revealing its secrets to us, and among its most captivating mysteries are the potential astronomical alignments hidden within its ancient stone circles. Imagine standing among these massive pillars over 10,000 years ago, looking up at the night sky. Some researchers think that the people who built Göbekli Tepe did more than just admire the stars. They aligned their monumental structures with them. The idea that these ancient builders could align their creations with constellations like Sirius or Orion, or mark the solstices and equinoxes, is mind-blowing. It suggests they were not just master builders, but also early astronomers, tracking the heavens with an accuracy that challenges our assumptions about prehistoric peoples. This possibility opens up all sorts of fascinating questions about how and why they did this. If the alignments at Göbekli Tepe were intentional, it could mean that these ancient builders had their own form of astronomical observation, maybe even a basic calendar system. Göbekli Tepe and the lack of evidence for permanent settlement presents a fascinating glimpse into the spiritual life of people over 11,000 years ago. This site, rather than serving as a home or village, appears to have been a significant ceremonial or pilgrimage destination. The absence of typical domestic remains, such as extensive cooking hearths or trash pits that would indicate long-term habitation, suggests that Göbekli Tepe was not a place where people lived year-round. Instead, it was likely visited by various groups for specific purposes, possibly related to religious or spiritual practices. This realization points to a level of social complexity and spiritual or religious depth that predates the advent of agriculture and settled life, challenging the conventional sequence of societal development. The stone pillars of Göbekli Tepe, carved with an impressive array of reliefs and symbols, are among the earliest known examples of narrative art, offering profound insights into the prehistoric mind. These carvings feature a diverse menagerie of animals: foxes, lions, bulls, snakes, wild boars, and birds, each meticulously rendered, suggesting a deep reverence or symbolic significance attached to these creatures. The presence of such carvings indicates not only advanced artistic skills and aesthetic sensibilities, but also suggests these animals held particular meanings for the people who created them. They could represent clan totems, spiritual guides, or mythological stories central to the community's beliefs and rituals. Moreover, the humanoid figures, some of which appear to be depicted wearing animal skins, hint at early forms of shamanistic practices, or the veneration of deities or priests donned in ceremonial garb. These figures could represent intermediaries between the physical world and the spiritual realm, playing crucial roles in the rituals and ceremonies conducted at the site. The abstract symbols found alongside the more representational carvings add another layer of complexity to our understanding of Göbekli Tepe's spiritual significance. These symbols could be early attempts at encoding sacred knowledge, marking significant events, or conveying complex concepts related to cosmology, theology, or social order. The carvings on Göbekli Tepe's pillars, therefore, are not merely decorative, but are deeply imbued with meaning, serving as a tangible connection to the beliefs, rituals, and cosmologies of prehistoric peoples. They provide a window into a world where spirituality was expressed through the medium of stone, and where the natural and supernatural realms were closely intertwined. The story of Göbekli Tepe is like something out of a movie, an ancient site buried under tons of soil and debris around 8000 BCE, only to be rediscovered and shake up everything we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. This wasn't just a case of a lost city getting swallowed up by the sands of time. It was an intentional act, a massive project that likely took as much effort and organization as the construction of the site itself. Why would a society go through such lengths to bury this place? The theories are as fascinating as they are varied, ranging from ritualistic closure to a strategic move for preservation against natural disasters or even invasions. But here's the kicker. Göbekli Tepe turns the Neolithic Revolution's narrative on its head. The common story is that agriculture kick-started the rise of complex societies and monumental architecture.
The idea that we come across that another turn of the spade reveals information that causes us to reconsider not just was it hunter-gatherers or agriculturalists, but perhaps something bigger than this is involved.
Yet here we have an elaborate complex built by hunter-gatherers long before farming took hold. It suggests that the impulse to gather for religious or ceremonial reasons might have been a driving force behind settling down and forming communities. This discovery forces us to rethink not just the timeline of human history, but the very factors that drive societal development. Göbekli Tepe shows us that hunter-gatherer societies were capable of a level of organization, cooperation, and spiritual expression that we usually only attribute to settled farming communities. It hints at a world where shared beliefs and rituals were the glue that held societies together, potentially paving the way for the transition to a sedentary lifestyle.
You think you know the Amazon. Endless green, ancient, empty. But a laser just stripped the canopy away, and the ground beneath looks like a city blueprint. Stay with me, because what it reveals leads to one unnerving payoff. Wait, are we sure we understand this?
For centuries, the rainforest has been the perfect accomplice. It grows fast, eats ruins, and turns wood and earth back into nothing. Explorers wrote about large settlements and straight roads, and later scholars dismissed it as exaggeration. The standard story hardened. The Amazon is too wet, too acidic, too fragile for big, organized societies. People lived here, yes, but small, scattered, and always at the mercy of the jungle. Then came LiDAR, light detection and ranging. An aircraft sweeps overhead, firing millions of laser pulses. Some slip through gaps in the leaves, hit the soil, and bounce back. Stack those returns, and the forest becomes transparent. The ground stops being guessed at. It's mapped, and mapped ground is where the trouble begins, because the terrain starts to look designed. Straight lines where nature prefers curves. Sharp angles in a world of roots and rivers. Raised platforms, rectangular enclosures, long causeways cutting across uneven land like someone refused to negotiate with geography. Ditches and berms in repeating patterns. Clusters of mounds arranged like foundations. Paths that converge, fork, and reconnect with the logic of traffic, not animals. A lost city beneath the Amazon, except the shock isn't only that something is there. The shock is that it resembles planning. Across parts of the Amazon basin, researchers have documented massive earthworks. Rings, squares, and lines carved into the landscape. Geoglyphs so large you often can't grasp them from the ground. In other areas, there are networks of causeways and canals, as if water wasn't the enemy, but an engineering project. And then there's the strange detail. Dark earth, soil enriched over long periods by human activity. In a region famous for thin, hungry ground, someone made fertility on purpose. So why did we miss it? Because much of the evidence isn't stone. It's earth and timber, materials that vanish when abandoned. A city built from soil is a city built to disappear. And the rainforest doesn't just hide, it erases. Now picture the moment of revelation. You fly over what looks like uninterrupted wilderness. Then the data comes in. The trees are peeled away, and suddenly the forest floor shows grids, plazas, embankments, and roads. Not one odd site, but multiple sites that seem to relate to each other, like parts of a larger system. Your mind scrambles for a safe explanation. It must be small. It must be late. It must be a misread. Because if it isn't, the timeline in your head starts to crack. How old are these places? Many mainstream interpretations put a lot of Amazonian earthworks within the last couple of thousand years. That alone is a plot twist. Complex societies thriving where we once assumed they could not. But here's the tighter mystery. Dating earthworks is hard. Samples decay, layers mix, forests churn soil. And the moment we label something recent, we often stop asking the dangerous question. What if some of this is older than we think? Look at the scale. Causeways that run far beyond a single village. Multiple settlements linked by engineered corridors. Landscapes shaped not like a camp, but like a plan. Coordination like that hints at leadership, shared rules, knowledge passed down. Then the anomalies start whispering. Why build huge geometric forms you can't easily see from the ground? Maybe they're practical, drainage, defense, boundaries. Maybe they're social, ceremony, identity, gatherings that bind communities together. But the precision nags. Straight lines through uneven terrain, repeating angles across distances, designs that feel like templates. When patterns repeat, you can't help asking, who taught this? How did it spread? This is where myth enters like fog. Some indigenous traditions speak of teacher figures, sky beings, great changes, floods, and lost ages. Most scholars treat these as stories, symbolic, cultural, alive. But some listeners treat them as encoded memory. The world used to be different, until it wasn't. And deep time gives that idea teeth. At the end of the last ice age, climates shifted. Waters rose, river systems changed. Catastrophe doesn't always mean one sudden day. Sometimes it means years of drought, then chaos, then collapse. In a humid rainforest, a collapsed society wouldn't leave dramatic ruins. It would leave scars, pressed into soil, softened by millennia. Let's keep our feet on evidence. None of this requires aliens. Humans can manage forests, carve canals, build raised fields, and turn poor soil into productive ground over generations. Complexity doesn't always look like stone monuments. Sometimes it looks like planned landscapes that only reveal themselves from above. But the evidence also invites a shadow. If the Amazon can hide large-scale human design in plain sight, what else have we underestimated? What other impossible places are only impossible because our expectations are too small? Now, the what-if possibilities rush in. Dangerous, irresistible, and not conclusions, just doors left ajar. What if there was a lost civilization here? Not a fantasy empire of gold, but a real web of cities adapted to rainforest life, with roads, plazas, and engineered agriculture. What if a catastrophe reset the board? Drought, flood, disease, emptying settlements fast enough for the forest to reclaim them, path by path, until even memory became taboo? What if survivors carried fragments of old knowledge into story? Builders remembered as gods, teachers remembered as sky visitors, engineering remembered as magic. And yes, what if frameworks like Anunnaki or ancient astronauts aren't evidence of literal visitors, but a symptom of something else, our discomfort with forgetting? When we're trained to imagine ancient people as simple, scale and precision feel like an intrusion. The unsettling alternative is that the outsiders were humans we erased from the record, because the Amazon is a machine for erasure. So LiDAR's revelation isn't just, look, ruins, it's, look, a whole assumption collapsing. The jungle we called empty might have been organized. The soil we called weak might have been engineered. The past we called simple might have been complicated. And once you see that, the story stops being about a single lost city. It becomes about the possibility of a lost world. So the next time you stare at a satellite image and see only green, ask yourself, is that wilderness? Or is that a cover story? And if the scans keep widening, what happens when the ground keeps answering back with roads and plazas and geometry? Because if the Amazon is willing to reveal this much, one question hangs there, perfectly still. What if we didn't discover a city beneath the Amazon? What if we discovered how easy it is for an entire chapter of human history to disappear? Next, we leave the jungle and step into a place where the past isn't hidden by leaves, but by legend. A city with a name that still vibrates through time, Babylon. And if the Amazon just made you doubt what you knew, wait until you hear the ancient Babylon mystery that experts still can't explain, because the clues are in plain sight, and the answer might be the most unsettling of all.
Once the glittering jewel of Mesopotamia, Babylon was a city of towering ziggurats, mysterious gods, and dazzling wonders. Yet despite centuries of study, many of its secrets remain unsolved. Did the Hanging Gardens really exist, or were they a myth? How did this ancient civilization achieve such advanced knowledge of astronomy, law, and architecture? Even after 4,000 years, Babylon still whispers questions that no one can fully answer.
The first riddle is perhaps its most famous, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Ancient writers spoke of an oasis in the desert, a palace draped in vines and waterfalls, where trees grew high above the city walls. The gardens were so breathtaking they earned a place among the 7 wonders of the ancient world. And yet, not a single trace of them has ever been found. Archaeologists have uncovered sprawling palaces, massive temples, and even entire neighborhoods, but no structure matches the descriptions. Were the gardens destroyed beyond recognition? Were they a poetic exaggeration, or worse, a misattribution, belonging instead to Nineveh, the rival capital of Assyria? To this day, the Hanging Gardens remain a wonder without a home, a paradise that may never have existed at all. But Babylon's puzzles run deeper than vanished gardens. Take the Code of Hammurabi, carved into a towering basalt stele nearly 3,800 years ago. It is one of the world's oldest known legal codes, containing laws that governed everything from trade and property to marriage and crime. The famous phrase, "an eye for an eye," comes from this very text. Yet recent research reveals something startling. Hammurabi's laws may never have been enforced as practical legislation. Instead, they may have served as a grand piece of political theater, a public statement of royal authority rather than day-to-day governance. Was Hammurabi a true lawgiver, shaping society through justice? Or was he a master of propaganda, using the illusion of law to cement his rule? The answer forces us to rethink the very foundations of law and order. Then there is the most iconic image of Babylon, the Tower of Babel. According to biblical tradition, Other tablets detail intricate economic systems, contracts, and trade routes, evidence of a society whose reach stretched across continents. Each new discovery deepens the mystery, painting a picture of a civilization at once familiar and utterly alien. But the tragedy is that so much of Babylon remains hidden, or worse, lost forever. Looting, war, and neglect have scarred the ruins. Political turmoil has delayed excavations. Parts of the site were even reconstructed in the 20th century in ways that damaged the original foundations. Babylon resists full understanding because we cannot yet see it whole. What remains is a mosaic of fragments, each piece hinting at a greater truth we may never fully assemble. And that is why Babylon continues to captivate us. It was a city of wonders, yes, but also a city of contradictions, of myths woven into history, and history swallowed by myth. A place where law may have been more performance than practice, where gardens may have existed only in story, where towers may have reached both sky and imagination. 4,000 years later, its secrets endure not because they are unsolvable, but because they remind us of the limits of our own knowledge. Babylon asks questions that we, with all our modern tools, still cannot answer. Perhaps that is why it remains eternal. The desert may have reclaimed its bricks, the rivers may have shifted, but Babylon's riddles still echo across time, daring us to keep searching and reminding us that some civilizations are too vast, too layered, and too extraordinary to ever be fully understood. The mysteries of ancient Babylon have baffled historians for over 4,000 years, leaving us with more questions than answers. Yet recent findings suggest that Babylon may still be holding secrets no one ever suspected. In our next exploration, we'll uncover these hidden revelations that could completely reshape what we thought we knew about this legendary empire.
When we think of ancient empires and their secrets, Babylon is a name that often comes to mind. From its famed hanging gardens to intricate governance, Babylon was a beacon of human achievement. But what about the lesser-known facts? Let's delve deep into the unsuspecting secrets of ancient Babylon. The ancient city of Babylon, with its monumental structures and bustling streets, was not just a hub of commerce and politics. Hidden within its walls was a profound knowledge that bridged the gap between the earth and the cosmos. This was the realm of Babylonian astronomy. Babylonian astronomers, working from observatories that were perhaps atop ziggurats or open spaces, constantly observed the sky, meticulously noting the movements of the stars and planets. Their dedication was such that they maintained detailed records, sometimes spanning decades. These records, often etched onto clay tablets, revealed patterns and cyclic events like the phases of the moon and the regular appearances of certain stars or constellations. What's truly fascinating is the precision with which they operated. For instance, they developed a system to predict lunar eclipses with surprising accuracy. These weren't just based on religious or mythological beliefs, but on empirical observation and consistent patterns. This suggests that they might have utilized a rudimentary form of what we today know as the scientific method, an approach where repeated observations underpin formulated hypotheses.
Somewhere off India's coasts, beneath just begun to listen.
Across India's ancient texts, there are vivid accounts of a cataclysmic flood, a deluge that submerged vast lands and ended entire civilizations. For centuries, these stories were treated as mythology, allegories, but modern science is shifting that view. Around the end of the last ice age, between 15,000 and 6,000 years ago, sea levels rose by nearly 120 meters. Entire coastlines vanished. Any ancient city near the sea would have stood no chance. And some we're beginning to find. Let's start with a legend. A city of unimaginable wealth, ruled by a divine king, Dwarka, the kingdom of Lord Krishna. Said to be a marvel of architecture and prosperity, Dwarka's story ends in tragedy, swallowed by the Arabian Sea after Krishna's death. For generations, scholars dismissed it. Too poetic, too perfect. But then, in the late 20th century, sonar scans off the coast of Gujarat revealed something that stunned archaeologists. Submerged geometric structures arranged in grids, stone walls, pillars, steps, an entire city beneath the waves. Divers recovered pottery, anchors, and temple fragments. Some of the material dated back over 5,000 years. Others believed it could be 10,000 years old, placing it well before the rise of known Indian civilizations. Could Dwarka be more than myth? The evidence was impossible to ignore. Then came something even more astonishing. In the early 2000s, researchers from India's National Institute of Ocean Technology were conducting routine seabed scans in the Gulf of Khambhat when they stumbled upon what looked like the outline of a massive settlement. Not a village, a metropolis. Spanning over 5 miles in length and nearly 2 miles wide, it featured grid patterns, large rectangular foundations, and possible roads. When divers descended, they found pottery shards, carved stones, tools, and even human bones and teeth. Radiocarbon dating suggested some items were over 9,000 years old. That would mean this city predated the Egyptian pyramids. It would make it one of the oldest known urban settlements on Earth. The implications were staggering. India's earliest known civilization, the Indus Valley, was believed to begin around 2500 BCE. But this find? It pushed human settlement in India back by several millennia. Some called it the lost cradle of Indian civilization. Others were more cautious, urging further verification. But no one denied it. Something extraordinary had been discovered beneath the waves. And the sea wasn't done speaking. Travel southeast to the shores of Tamil Nadu. There, in the coastal town of Mahabalipuram, locals have long told tales of the 7 pagodas, 6 magnificent temples said to have been swallowed by the ocean, with only one left standing on land. For centuries, this was dismissed as folklore. But then came the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. As the water pulled back from the shore in those terrible moments before the wave struck, fishermen and onlookers witnessed something incredible. Rows of submerged stone structures, pillars, carvings, statues, briefly exposed on the ocean floor. They saw lions, elephants, and deities etched into granite blocks. The sea had unveiled the ruins of the lost temples, just long enough for them to be photographed, before it crashed back and covered them once again. In the years that followed, archaeologists backed by the Indian Navy explored the submerged site. They found walls, steps, platforms, and temple-like structures about 8 meters underwater. The style matched the Pallava dynasty from around 1300 years ago, suggesting that the story of the 7 pagodas wasn't just symbolic, it was historical memory, passed down across generations. And yet, the oldest and most mysterious site of all may lie farther south, off the coast of Pumpuhar. Pumpuhar, once a thriving port city mentioned in ancient Tamil literature, was believed to have been lost to the sea in a great flood. Early dives revealed scattered ruins close to shore. But in recent years, sonar scans from Indian universities and oceanographic institutes made a startling revelation. Submerged structures nearly 100 meters deep and 40 kilometers offshore. That depth aligns with sea levels from over 12 to 15,000 years ago, the tail end of the last ice age. If confirmed, that would make Pumpuhar one of the oldest known human settlements on Earth. Researchers believe they may have found harbour walls foundations of homes, and even a lighthouse base. Though no organic material has yet been recovered for direct dating, the geography and layout suggest a complex urban design, built long before history books say cities even existed. The Great Flood wasn't just one event. It was a global phenomenon. Glaciers melted, oceans rose, and shorelines changed forever. These cities, once alive with rituals and marketplaces, were drowned. Their stories, distorted by time, survived as myths, until now. But perhaps the most startling revelation is not just that ancient cities were lost, it's that some people may never have left the sea at all. Because while the waters claimed cities and temples, what if a few communities learned to adapt instead of retreat? In our next episode, we uncover the incredible story of an underwater tribe that still exists today. A people who've mastered life beneath the surface, not in myth, but in astonishing reality. Stay with us. This is a discovery you'll never forget.
A fascination that many ancient history enthusiasts have is the possible existence of ruined cities under the sea. After all, surely it's possible, considering the rise of sea levels over time and of natural disasters hitting the coasts. Not only is that possible, we know it to be true, as there have been several ancient cities found underwater. And the results of this work have revealed astounding discoveries over the years.
Scientists have recently discovered an underwater tribe that still exists today, captivating the world with their remarkable survival skills and deep connection to the sea. The Moken, Haida, Sami, and Chumash are indigenous groups known for their sophisticated fishing and underwater hunting abilities. Their fascinating lifestyles reveal a wealth of knowledge about living and ancient traditions that continue to thrive against the odds.
Lost cities. Whispers of civilizations swallowed by time. Rungholt, drowned by the sea. Cahokia, a vanished North American metropolis. Shimao, a fortress guarding ancient secrets. Were they victims of cataclysm, of conflict, or simply forgotten? In 2025, the quest to rediscover them intensifies. Archaeologists, armed with new technology, are diving deeper, digging further, and rewriting history. From the submerged wonders of Thonis Heracleion, a gateway to Egypt, to the ingenious water systems of Dolavira, we embark on a global journey of rediscovery. These are stories etched in stone, in artifacts, in the very land itself. Stories of resilience, innovation, and the enduring mysteries of our past. Stories of Helike and Corral, and the people who walked those streets, waiting to be told.
Rungholt, North Sea, off the coast of Germany. This is a major focus of archaeological research right now. Often called the Atlantis of the North Sea, Rungholt was a wealthy and influential trading port, swallowed by a massive storm surge in 1362, known as the Grota Mandranka. Recent geophysical surveys, utilizing advanced technologies like sonar and ground-penetrating radar, combined with targeted excavations that began intensifying in 2023-2024, have revealed extensive remains of the city. These include foundations of houses, churches, a harbor, and remarkably well-preserved drainage systems. Scientists are using cutting-edge techniques such as 3D modeling and digital reconstruction to map the city in detail and gain a deeper understanding of its infrastructure, daily life, and the circumstances surrounding its demise. This ongoing research is a prime example of how underwater archaeology is pushing boundaries and revealing lost worlds. With continued technological advancements and dedicated research efforts, expect further discoveries and a more comprehensive mapping of Rungholt in 2025 and beyond. Dolavira, Gujarat, India. A major city of the Indus Valley Civilization, IVC, Dolavira stands as a testament to ancient urban planning and engineering prowess and has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. While archaeologists and historians have long been aware of its existence, recent excavations and analyses are shedding new light on the city's advanced infrastructure and societal structures. Sophisticated water management systems, including reservoirs, channels, and wells, highlight Dolavira's innovative approach to urban planning in an arid environment. These systems not only ensured a consistent water supply for the city's inhabitants, but also demonstrate a remarkable understanding of hydrological engineering principles. Additionally, recent excavations have revealed unique burial practices and provided new evidence about the IVC's decline, offering potential clues about the factors that contributed to the civilization's collapse. Researchers are also exploring Dolavira's connection to other IVC sites to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the civilization's trade networks, cultural interactions, and socio-political dynamics. Olduvai Gorge, Tanzania. While technically not a city, Olduvai Gorge is one of the most important paleoanthropological sites in the world and has been crucial in understanding the story of human evolution. It's where some of the earliest hominin remains and tools have been found. Ongoing excavations continue to uncover evidence of early human ancestors, their tools, and their environment, pushing the boundaries of our knowledge. New dating techniques and analyses of existing finds are constantly refining our understanding of human evolution and early human behavior. Discoveries made in 2024 point to evidence of tools and cut marks on animal bones much earlier than previously believed, suggesting that early humans were using tools and hunting for food earlier than we thought. These ongoing discoveries at Olduvai Gorge continue to shape our understanding of our origins. Claros, Turkey. This was a major sanctuary and oracle center dedicated to Apollo in ancient Ionia. While known for centuries, recent excavations have uncovered significant new structures, including a monumental altar, temples, and associated buildings. These discoveries are helping archaeologists piece together the rituals, practices, and influence of this important religious site. The sanctuary at Claros was renowned in antiquity, attracting pilgrims and seekers of divine guidance from across the Mediterranean world. The oracle, believed to speak through a priest or priestess, was consulted on a wide range of matters, from personal dilemmas to affairs of state. The recent archaeological findings are shedding light on the architectural grandeur of the site, the intricate rituals that took place there, and the role of the oracle in shaping the lives and beliefs of the people who visited it. Shimao, Shanxi Province, China. This massive 4,000-year-old fortified city is a relatively recent discovery, compared to some others on this list. Ongoing excavations are revealing incredible details. Enormous stone walls, elaborate gates, jade artifacts, and even evidence of human sacrifice. Shimao is rewriting our understanding of early Chinese civilization and the development of complex societies in the region. Helike, Greece. Another Atlantis candidate, Helike was a powerful city in ancient Greece that was destroyed by an earthquake and tsunami in 373 BCE. Its location remained a mystery for centuries, but archaeologists have been systematically searching for it. Recent work, using geological surveys and targeted excavations, has identified likely candidates for the city's location beneath layers of sediment. Finding definitive proof remains a key goal. Thonis Heracleion, Egypt. This submerged city at the mouth of the Nile was a major port and gateway to Egypt for centuries. Discovered in 2000, ongoing underwater excavations continue to reveal incredible artifacts: statues, temples, shipwrecks, and everyday objects. These discoveries are providing a unique glimpse into the city's role in trade, religion, and cultural exchange between Egypt and the Mediterranean world. 2024 saw discoveries of shipwrecks and further evidence of Greek influence. Teotihuacan, Mexico. While one of the most famous ancient cities in the Americas, Teotihuacan still holds many mysteries. Recent research, using LiDAR and other remote sensing techniques, has revealed new details about the city's layout, including hidden tunnels and chambers beneath the pyramids. Excavations within these tunnels are yielding new artifacts and insights into the city's rulers and rituals. The investigation of the tunnels beneath the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun are particularly significant. Corral, Peru. Considered the oldest city in the Americas, Corral is a remarkable example of early urbanism. Ongoing research is focusing on understanding the city's social structure, its relationship to the environment, and the factors that led to its development and eventual decline. Analysis of textiles, agricultural practices, and architectural features continues to yield new information. Cahokia, Illinois, USA, the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico, Cahokia was a major center of the Mississippian culture. Recent excavations and analyses are revealing new information about the city's population, its social organization, and its relationship to other Mississippian settlements. Researchers are also using advanced techniques to study the city's monumental mounds and understand their construction and purpose.
The Andes, implacable, eternal. For centuries, they have stood silent sentinel over secrets whispered on the wind, secrets of empires built and shattered, secrets of a hunger that drove men to the edge of madness. November 16th, 1532, Cajamarca. Here, in the shadow of the mountains, the Inca Empire, a civilization that had touched the sky, met its brutal end. A handful of Spanish conquistadors, led by the iron fist of Francisco Pizarro, brought an entire people to their knees. 5,000 Inca warriors, unarmed and defenseless, Atahualpa, the god king, captured. The sun had set on the Inca world. But for Pizarro, the conquest was only the beginning. His eyes were fixed on a prize far greater than empire: gold, the legendary riches of the Inca, a treasure that would make kings weep with envy. They plundered temples, melted down sacred artifacts, stripped bare the very soul of a civilization. Mountains of gold, enough to fill the holds of 1,000 ships, flowed back to Spain. But even as they gorged themselves on Inca treasure, a new whisper began to circulate, a fever dream that gripped their hearts. A tale of a city forged not of stone, but of pure gold. A place where the very ruler was bathed in golden dust. A king they called El Dorado, the Golden One. This was no mere legend. They had seen the proof. The Muisca, masters of gold, and a sacred lake high in the Andes, Guatavita. Here they witnessed a ritual beyond imagining. A new chief, naked, coated in gold from head to toe, offering treasures to the depths. Before plunging into the icy water, a living god reborn. This is the story of El Dorado, the most famous treasure that never was.
The Andes Mountains, jagged and imposing, stand as silent witnesses to a pivotal moment in history, November 16th, 1532. On this fateful day, the seemingly invincible Inca Empire, a civilization that had flourished for centuries, crumbled before the might of a small band of Spanish conquistadors. Led by Francisco Pizarro, a man driven by an insatiable hunger for wealth and glory, the Spanish captured Atahualpa, the last Sapa Inca, the emperor believed by his people to be a living god. The ensuing massacre of 5,000 unarmed Incan warriors in Cajamarca was a chilling display of European military superiority and a brutal prelude to the systematic dismantling of an empire. Pizarro, however, was not merely a conqueror, he was a plunderer, his eyes fixated on the legendary riches of the Inca. Gold, in quantities that staggered the European imagination, adorned the temples and palaces of the Inca. As Pedro Cieza de León, a soldier and chronicler of the conquest, wrote in his Crónicas del Perú, "In one of these palaces, there was a garden in which the earth was lumps of fine gold, and it was cunningly planted with stalks of corn that were of gold, stalk, leaves, and ears." This vivid description highlights the sheer abundance of gold that fueled the Spanish frenzy. The systematic looting of the Inca Empire began. Temples were stripped bare, golden artifacts melted down into ingots, and the wealth of a civilization was shipped across the ocean to fill the coffers of the Spanish crown. But even as the Inca gold flowed into Europe, whispers of another, even greater source of riches began to circulate among the conquistadors. These were tales of a city, a kingdom, where gold was not merely a symbol of wealth, but the very fabric of existence, a place where the streets were paved with gold, the buildings constructed from it, and the ruler himself was covered in it. This was the legend of El Dorado, the Golden One. Driven by this intoxicating legend, the conquistadors ventured beyond the conquered Inca territories, pushing deeper into the uncharted heart of South America. They braved treacherous jungles teeming with unknown dangers, navigated the labyrinthine waterways of the Amazon, and scaled the dizzying heights of the Andes, their eyes constantly searching for any sign of the fabled Golden City. They were not merely explorers, they were treasure hunters, fueled by a potent cocktail of greed, ambition, and a near-religious belief in the existence of El Dorado. This belief was further reinforced when they encountered the Muisca, an indigenous civilization that thrived in the highlands of present-day Colombia. The Muisca, unlike the Inca, did not build vast empires or monumental cities. Their power resided not in territorial conquest, but in their mastery of gold work and their complex spiritual beliefs. Spanish chroniclers like Juan de Castellanos were astounded by the Muisca's skill with gold. In his epic poem Elegías de Varones Ilustres de Indias, Castellanos describes their artistry. They are great artificers of gold, and whatever they make is very perfect. They cast it, they make hollow figures, they solder it with great skill, and they make of it whatever they will and whatever is desired of them. The Muisca created intricate gold objects, tuños, votive figures, jewelry, masks, and elaborate pectorals, often depicting animals, deities, and scenes from their mythology. But it was the Muisca's unique ritual at Lake Guatavita that truly cemented the connection between them and the legend of El Dorado. This sacred lake, nestled high in the Andes, was the stage for a ceremony of profound spiritual significance. Gonzalo Fernández de Oviedo y Valdés, in his Historia General y Natural de las Indias, provides a detailed, though perhaps embellished, account. The Indians say that in that lake is a great sum of gold and riches, and that the gold that the cacique, chief, offers is very much. He goes naked, covered only with a paste of fragrant resins, and over this the gold dust is applied from head to foot, as thick as salt is sprinkled on food, and thus arrayed he goes to make his sacrifice. The Spanish, upon hearing these accounts, were captivated. Here, they believed, was the origin of the El Dorado legend. The Golden Man was not a mythical king, but the Muisca leader participating in the Lake Guatavita ceremony. The lake itself, they reasoned, must be a vast repository of gold, accumulated over centuries of ritual offerings. As Juan Rodríguez Fraile, a later chronicler born in Bogotá, wrote in his work El Carnero, this is the ceremony that became the famous El Dorado, which has cost so many lives and fortunes. The conquistadors' logic, though flawed, was understandable. They saw a civilization that used gold in abundance, a ritual that involved casting gold into a lake, and a legend of a golden city. In their minds, these elements coalesced into a single compelling narrative. El Dorado was not a myth, but a hidden Muisca capital. The ensuing search for El Dorado became one of the most epic and ultimately tragic chapters in the history of the Spanish conquest. Expeditions, often led by ruthless and ambitious men, ventured into the unknown, driven by the tantalizing prospect of unimaginable riches. They found gold, yes, but never in the quantities they envisioned. They encountered indigenous resistance, succumbed to disease, and often turned on each other in their desperation. The legend of El Dorado, however, persisted. It evolved and adapted, taking on new forms and meanings. It became a metaphor for the insatiable human desire for wealth and the destructive power of greed. It also became a symbol of the unknown, the unexplored, and the enduring allure of the mythical. Even today, the name El Dorado evokes a sense of mystery and wonder, a reminder of a time when the world was still full of uncharted territories and the possibility of discovering something truly extraordinary. If you liked this adventure, you are going to love what's next. We're going deep into the lost labyrinth of Egypt, rediscovered at the Hawara Pyramid Complex. Herodotus claimed it was more impressive than the pyramids, and we're going to find out why. We'll explore Flinders Petrie's findings, the Mataha Project's radar scans, and the ancient texts of Herodotus, Strabo, and Pliny the Elder. Was it a temple, a tomb, or something else entirely? What secrets does the megalithic construction and the quartzite sarcophagus hold? And could it be older than the pharaohs? Find out in our next video.
Imagine a structure so grand, so impossibly complex, that it was deemed one of the wonders of the ancient world, a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place of myth and legend, even in its own time. The historian Herodotus, a man who had witnessed the majestic pyramids of Giza in their full glory, a man who had traversed the known world, even he was humbled. He wrote that this edifice exceeded in splendor even the mighty pyramids. He called it the Labyrinth, a sprawling colossal maze of stone and shadow, said to contain thousands of chambers, both above and below ground, a place where the unwary could wander for eternity, lost in its endless corridors. For centuries, it stood as a testament to the power and ingenuity of a forgotten age, a place of ritual, of worship perhaps, of secrets best left undisturbed.
Early in 2025, a sensational announcement reverberated through the world of archaeology. Evidence of a vast, previously unknown city had been discovered deep beneath the sands of the Giza Plateau, directly under the imposing Pyramid of Khafre. This monumental finding, if confirmed, promises to be one of the most significant discoveries in Egyptology, potentially rivaling the unearthing of Tutankhamun's tomb in its impact on our understanding of ancient Egypt. The Pyramid of Khafre, the second largest of the iconic trio at Giza, was constructed around 2550 BC during the 4th dynasty for the pharaoh of the same name, also known as Chephren. While its slightly steeper angle and elevated location make it appear taller than its more massive neighbour, the Great Pyramid, its internal structure is known to be relatively simple. The premise of a substantial urban settlement lying hidden beneath this ancient wonder offers a revolutionary perspective on the Old Kingdom and the purpose and complexity of the Giza complex. The Pyramid of Khafre stands as a testament to the power and ambition of Pharaoh Khafre, who reigned during a golden age of pyramid construction. As the son of Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid, Khafre continued the family's monumental legacy, not only erecting his own impressive pyramid, but also commissioning the enigmatic Great Sphinx. Known to the ancient Greeks as Chephren, Khafre ruled around 2558 to 2532 BC. The construction of his pyramid was an enormous undertaking, utilizing vast quantities of limestone, primarily sourced locally from the Giza Plateau, along with pink granite brought from distant quarries near Aswan for specific elements like the lower casing stones and the lining of the upper descending passage. Theories regarding the workforce involved vary, with some historical accounts suggesting hundreds of thousands of laborers, while modern estimates point to a more skilled and organized workforce, numbering in the tens of thousands. The pyramid's construction likely involved the use of inclined ramps made of brick, earth, and sand, along with sledges and levers to move the massive stone blocks into place. The precision achieved in fitting these multi-ton blocks together speaks to the advanced engineering and organizational capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. The known internal structure of the Khafre pyramid is relatively straightforward compared to the labyrinthine passages of the Great Pyramid. Two entrances on the north side lead to a system of descending and ascending corridors, culminating in a horizontal passage that opens into the burial chamber. The burial chamber itself, carved from a pit in the bedrock, features a gabled roof made of limestone beams and housed a large sarcophagus crafted from solid granite. A smaller, subsidiary chamber also exists to the west of the lower passage, its purpose remaining a subject of scholarly debate. The comparative simplicity of Khafre's internal layout suggests that the primary focus of construction might have extended beyond the tomb itself, hinting at a more complex relationship between the pyramid and its surrounding environment. The discovery of a similar, potentially larger, urban settlement directly beneath the Khafra pyramid would represent an unprecedented find, adding a new dimension to our understanding of the relationship between these royal monuments and the urban landscape of ancient Egypt. The discovery of a city beneath the Khafra pyramid in 2025 would almost certainly be attributed to advancements in non-invasive archaeological scanning and exploration technologies. These techniques allow archaeologists to peer beneath the surface without the destructive impact of traditional excavation. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, is one such technology that works by emitting radar pulses into the ground and analyzing the reflected signals to identify buried structures and variations in subsurface materials. GPR has been successfully used in Egypt to map archaeological sites and could potentially reveal the outlines and infrastructure of a subterranean city. The discovery of a large Old Kingdom settlement beneath the Khafra pyramid would hold immense historical, cultural, and scientific significance. Historically, it could revolutionize our understanding of the pyramid's purpose, potentially indicating that it served not only as a tomb, but also as a central element within a larger urban complex. Culturally, such a discovery would undoubtedly capture the public imagination, fostering a renewed interest in ancient Egypt and potentially offering new insights into the beliefs, rituals, and societal structures of this fascinating civilization. Scientifically, the study of a well-preserved Old Kingdom city using modern archaeological techniques would be invaluable, yielding data on urban planning, architecture, diet, health, and social organization that might not be obtainable from other archaeological contexts. The announcement of a vast underground city beneath the Giza pyramids in early 2025, based on radar technology, has already elicited a range of reactions from the archaeological community. While the claims have generated excitement in some quarters, many leading Egyptologists have expressed skepticism. Dr. Zahi Hawass, for instance, dismissed such rumors as baseless fabrications lacking scientific evidence. Professor Lawrence Conyers, a radar expert, also questioned the ability of current technology to penetrate to such depths, suggesting the idea of an underground city is a huge exaggeration. While the existence of a major, previously unknown settlement beneath a major pyramid is considered less likely by many experts, the possibility of smaller undiscovered structures or chambers around the Giza pyramids is generally acknowledged. Past discoveries, such as the hidden corridor in the Great Pyramid revealed by muon tomography, demonstrate the potential for advanced scanning techniques to uncover previously unknown features. Ultimately, the validity of claims regarding a lost city beneath the Khafra pyramid will depend on rigorous scientific verification, including peer-reviewed publications and official confirmation from Egyptian archaeological authorities. The process of announcing a major archaeological discovery typically involves several stages to ensure accuracy and responsible dissemination of information. Initial findings are usually followed by further research and verification by the archaeological team. This often includes detailed analysis of the data and preparation of a comprehensive report. Once peer review is complete and the relevant authorities, such as the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, have been informed and have granted their approval, the discovery is often announced through official press conferences and media releases. The timeline from the initial discovery to the public announcement can vary considerably, ranging from months to years, depending on the complexity of the find and the research involved. Ethical considerations play a significant role in this process, emphasizing the need for accurate and responsible reporting, avoiding sensationalism, respecting the cultural heritage of the site, and ensuring proper documentation and preservation of the findings. The Giza Pyramid Complex is part of a vast necropolis that extends across the Giza Plateau, encompassing not only the three main pyramids, but also numerous other structures including temples, smaller pyramids dedicated to queens, and extensive cemeteries for officials and workers. The Pyramid of Khafra holds a central position within this landscape, situated between the Great Pyramid of Khufu and the Pyramid of Menkaure, with the enigmatic Sphinx standing guard to its east. The plateau itself lies at the edge of the Western Desert, a short distance from the Nile River. In ancient times, the Nile's floodplains would have been closer to the plateau, influencing settlement patterns and facilitating the transportation of the massive stones used to build the pyramids. The discovery of a lost city beneath the Khafre pyramid would add a significant new layer to our understanding of this already complex and historically rich landscape.